Hello and welcome to Tales from the Dark Side, your Star Wars news and weekly comic recap presented by Renovision. Tonight, we've invited a special guest to help review the new Star Wars Padawan novel by Kirsten White, a novel reportedly with a controversial take on the younger years of a beloved Star Wars character. There are two comics to review this week, Dr. Aphra 22 and Obi-Wan Kenobi number 3. We've got your weekly Star Wars news, more collectible releases, another 5 in 5 comic discussion, and a top 10 ranking of our favorite canon Star Wars novels. And stick around for trivia. Let's get it going, fellas.
Joe just goes top of the list. Oh,
Nib.
Joe just got nib there. Good job. Also want to say thank you to Rodney, who's way early. You guys checked in 2 hours before the show, or 3 hours before the show started, and him and Tommy already had been by to say hi. So hi to both Rodney. Dang, but now I can't see what he said, so I don't know. Try to figure that out because he had a big long paragraph about how he's feeling better, doing better, and then had he does those little writes up, so we appreciate that. Ruben, yes, Star Wars Sunday, excellent. Ed, wish I wasn't so dang tired. 60-hour work week kicked my I should just open an LCS. So yeah, it's just as tough. Wayseeker will be joining us later to review Padawan. BK, of course, is trolling already. Well, let's see what he's got. Here to find out if the curse of Marco continues to play. Corbin. Oh, Corbin. Oh, poor Corbin. Poor Corbin. All right. Sticks. Yep.
I'm sorry. Hey, you fall down a flight of stairs? Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, you missed the intro. All right. Yeah, he falls downstairs. Yeah. Jeez. I mean, could you? The poor kid. Just the poor kid. I mean, I don't know.
I didn't see the girl that he, the one that was talking
about. I don't think we're seeing who it is. It actually is a kind of a public figure, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. So maybe we'll talk to Corbin about it. Maybe he'll release a little members only video so that you can figure out.
That's funny. I feel bad for. Hey,
you should.
He did it to himself. I mean, like you. All right. Anyways, JJ is running a little bit late, however, and he did most of the news. So this week we'll be presenting the news.
Right. We're going to do the intros first.
Oh, yeah, we'll do intros first. But just in case, when JJ comes back, we're going to be doing the news, and we don't know what the news is about. So this will be fun.
Kind of.
Jedi, could you please take it around the horn and explain who's going to show up later on and who's here right now?
Yeah, we got some here. Some are incoming. His rants are rated R and sometimes get a little bizarre. And just when you think they're through, the bell rings for round 2. It's Macho Man Marco.
Ding.
When our recorded shows are a train collision, he edits them to health with surgical precision. It's the visionary Pete Renovision.
Hey, there you go.
That rhymes. Look at that.
So did yours.
When bad spec has you a bit uncertain or timelines have your head a hurtin', who you gonna call? The guy behind the curtain. JJ Maxwell, he'll be here. He online shops, drunk or sober, because the hunt's always on with the great Dom Tober, host of Mail Call Madness. All our viewers, of all our viewers who watch our show, none read as much as he. It's a sure thing that we know. In fact, we guarantee. He's a speed reading freak and Star Wars geek. It's Wayseeker Rune is going to join us. Nice. And he's the member of the crew with a particular point of view. Mostly, though, he ain't got a clue. It's me, Jedi Johnson, 22. Let's go.
I think we need to get an overlay of JJ's head since he's never here for the intro, so we can
never here to hear my masterpiece.
Yeah, my work. All right, send it. Are we sending something for news?
No, we haven't sent anything. We did the
All right, well, let's send news. Let's start news then. Stop drinking a cup that you know I want And you're showing off, you jerk.
Oh yes, the cup I found while I was moving the old fridge out and getting.
Yeah, that's a cool cup.
Oh man.
Oh, big thing. They already on a promotional poster, real quick. They removed Leia in slave outfit to put her in the Hoth outfit. It's happening.
For what?
What are you talking about?
They're getting rid of the slave outfit, Leia.
Oh, wait,
Oh
promotional photo for what?
Hey, we gotta get
the
a
movie.
No,
Now,
let's talk about
now
no.
we gotta get a.
They did a poster.
Hey, we
first.
gotta get a logo of aluminum foil.
Here's
tin
Leia
hat.
right there.
There she is.
Yeah,
All in
forward.
1983 glory.
Whatever-
Everything moving forward.
Coming to your house and they're gonna remove it all from you. And whenever
We'll
Dom's
talk
erasing
about it
it.
next week, Tom. We'll bring
You're
it up. We'll
erasing
bring it up next week. Next Friday. Bring it up.
Oh, hell. All right. I'm going to run the thing.
Is your guys'
Alrighty.
crazy talk? Is that what it is at this point? Is that what it's turning into, Jedi?
What's that?
Is your Friday show just crazy talk? Is that what you're saying? Just
A little bit. Yeah, we have a little bit of crazy talk.
Not
All
crazy talk. It's what the world is happening today in pop culture. I'm just saying.
God. All right.
Tom's
Well,
new to-
we got the
What
week
was-
in Star Wars. JJ's week in Star Wars, but without JJ, this is going to be interesting.
What's
Let's
going
see how
on?
much we can figure out off the headlines. New Phase 2 concepts and coverage revealed on Star Wars: The High Republic show. I think this came from StarWars.com. So
It is, and we showed some of those last week already. So sweet, that's cool. That guy's he's gonna have the paint job of what's his
Oh,
name?
is that the butcher? I mean, is that the porter? Is that the cook?
No,
Or what?
this is probably the dad to what's his name from Dark Disciples.
Oh,
Quinlan Voss. No, it's not.
okay.
Somebody, they're just doing the concept thing again.
Butcher.
Remember, like, you guys remember, like, the first version of this, like when they did the first layouts of what everybody was supposed to look like, and
Yeah.
like guys were mixed up, girls turned into guys turned into girls, guys weren't who they were anymore. They changed species. They did a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's see what they actually do. Hey, Anthony. Hey, Marv. Hey, Wookie. Let's see what they actually do when they come through.
I still like the line. I hope Asuka goes back to just the line because I'm tired of the drippy green mist.
There's a guy in well, I don't know why he just didn't give you all the
I know,
pictures
right?
of some of the stuff. That guy's is on the variant for number 2 for High Republic, the second issue.
Every time I see that guy with a tattoo on his face, I think of Quinlan, and then
Yep.
I get sad.
Yeah, maybe
You
it'll be
get
Quinlan's
that.
dad. You never know. But there wasn't much. There was a couple things. I mean, 2 of them are covers. That's one of them. So that's probably how they're going to look. Because it's coming up
Maybe.
faster than you think.
Is it going to be an ongoing series like the first series, or is it going to be like
Yeah.
limited series with all these things?
That's the ongoing series. That's the High Republic
Yeah, you
ongoing
don't-
series. That's the I think that's the 1 in 50 for.
Really?
I think he's going to. Yeah. You know, you want me to pull up? And
No.
you probably should just put it.
No, we'll save
next
that
time.
for once we get closer to that time.
Okay.
Because I'm sure there are going to be other covers popping up too.
There is. There's also one that's got a tweak in on it too. She's one of the variants for number 2 also. She's red. She has a blue lightsaber and holds it backwards.
Yeah, it's all right.
Kinda cool.
All right,
She
we'll
kind of
move
looks
to the
like
next.
what was the one that the Darth what's her name? What's her name from Legacy off of Legacy run with Crate.
Talon?
Yeah, they have a Jedi that's like,
Oh,
looks
Talon.
like Darth
Oh, a
Vader.
Twilight
Yeah.
Jedi?
Yeah, Twilight
Twilight.
Jedi who's just like I mean she's not as sexied up for all you pervs that love.
Yeah, well, don't worry about their erasing stuff like that.
Ah, it's always out there. All right,
Yeah,
moving
you-
on to our next bit. We have Lucasfilms get major announcement ready for 3 Star Wars projects. I don't know
And
what this was in reference to. Again,
I
this is
was
what we
queuing
do.
you up for your new catchphrase, Pete. What is it? What are they? What is it? What's your new? What are they going to be? Never mind.
Good
I
stuff.
don't remember now.
So which is this
Said
gonna
it
be
so many times last week when Dom was
Yeah,
going on
We were
his
saying the
what's it about, or something like that. Anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead.
what's it about? Where's it gonna happen? When are they gonna do it?
wouldn't it be cool?
No, but like, so is this 3? I guess we don't know because JJ's not here, so this is going really well.
Yeah,
Is this going to be the 50 that they already announced, or is this going to be new ones that they're still going to, like your thing from last week? Is this something they're just going to throw out there and then be like, okay, cool.
D23.
eh.
Yeah, but who cares? D23. It's not D23 because Andor's dropping tomorrow morning. You don't know what it is.
If it's a major announcement in my little brain, I would think that means it's something new, but I guess it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Actually, a major announcement should be
towards
like,
something
we
that-
actually
It
started
could be
doing
anything, really. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually started doing something on it, or of the 20 projects we already have going, maybe we cancel some. How about we do that?
Let's also not focus just in on television and movies. Project could be anything. It could be a new drink that costs $5,000 at the hotel.
Or a new soda pop.
Well, let's just move on from this bit and go with something that we can figure out a little easier. So Sabine Wren, the actress, Natasha Liu, I don't know how to say her name.
Sabine.
Liu
Okay, cool.
teases very high stakes in the Ahsoka series. Whatever. I mean, it's
That means
alluding to.
Live Omega Kid.
I don't know. We'll see. Just pumping up the show. She's hyping up her own show. Nothing
Well,
wrong
the
with
high
that.
stake it can only be Ezra, right? I mean, can't get much higher than that. Or Thrawn.
Unless they go back to Canto Bight and they're talking about gambling.
DJ showing up.
Oh,
DJ.
well, we already know we're getting
Made
Hera.
him Hondo.
They have to be going after Thrawn towards the end, right? Like that's got to be it because we saw Hera, we saw Sabine. Unless Zeb, they're going to go save Zeb and put the crew
I
back
still
together.
don't see how they're going to do Zeb.
Got to do Zeb.
Nah, they're
Gotta
gonna go
be.
to the world between worlds and get what's his name back? Kanan back.
Kanan?
They're gonna save him. That's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
The Galactic Circle, the Great Circle, and the Circle of Resistance. Okay. Those are trademarks?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Why all circles?
The circle is complete.
oh, good lord.
Then why do you need 3 of them?
Yeah.
The
it's
circle is
one.
complete. Who knows?
It's only one.
What do you mean?
One circle.
The circle is
You're right.
one. Why
One
do you need 3
singularly.
circles? Because if you break the circle, it's no longer complete.
I know, but
Then you have rings.
Yeah.
maybe
Somebody
it's the
send
Twin
me
Rings.
Now,
Shang-Chi.
let's
There
see.
you
that's
go.
going to be starting soon, too. Lord of the Rings on Amazon Prime. I can't wait.
And Shang-Chi. There you go.
But there's 10.
10 rings. But maybe 3. 3 got lost in space.
Sticks. You can't.
What's that?
Sticks just sent me a picture of Dom with tinfoil on his head. Sticks. All right. That's fine.
All right, moving on to the next bit.
Rings
See,
are
this
taking
is-
good.
I didn't read the article to see what the spoilers were, so you're not going to get anything spoilers, but apparently Tales of the Jedi will reveal the heartbreaking fate of a Jedi Master.
Is it
but-
Sifo-Dyas?
Picture that they led with was Dooku, so I don't know.
Isn't it Sifo-Dyas? Sifo-Dyas?
Why would it be hard? Well, I guess
Would
we'll
it be
see why it's
Yoda?
heartbreaking.
Would it be Yoda? That'd be nice. Well, you already know what happened to Yoda.
We already know what happens to him.
Who could it be? Jedi, I'm confused. Is it Mace Windu?
I don't know. Well,
Like,
how would that be heartbreaking? We already
You
saw
have Link
that.
to Dooku. It's gotta be Sifo-Dyas, right?
But
It's gotta
again,
be someone
why is it
that
going to be
dies. If it's the
heartbreaking?
final phase, dies or no longer a Jedi Master, becomes a Sith.
I thought you were on top of all the rumors, Dom. Dom, you're talking about.
I seen it. Hey, listen, they just say
We're
that
giving
it
you
could
your
be-
chance to shine
Look,
now.
think about it. The chance to shine. That
This is your area. This is rumors.
Count Dooku becomes a Sith. He's no longer a master anymore because Qui-Gon Jinn leaves him. He doesn't train quite. He becomes Bay. He wants to working on the Sidious.
What?
This was rumored,
What?
by the way.
Did you just
We're
say?
talking about you talking about Dooku?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dooku. What?
And he's no
Dooku?
longer a Jedi Master. He goes to the dark side.
Yeah, his story's
Yeah.
been told though already.
I know.
They got see, that's why
Ooh,
we gotta
Jedi
read the
lost.
books, man.
Yeah, but who is? But at the end, what other Jedi Masters are in there? Because we know the
Fun.
faith of almost all of them. Unless they
Jedi
got a brand new
Masters or
character.
What?
Well, you got a bunch of them in High Republic if that's where they want to.
I know, but this is the TV show,
the
the Tales of the Jedi, the cartoon that's coming out.
Yeah, but they can come up with any. They can come up with any Jedi.
I know they
Yeah.
come up brand new Jedis. I don't know.
Quinlan Voss. It's Quinlan.
Yeah.
It's Quinlan.
Yeah.
Nah, but this seems like it's somebody that we know.
Quinlan Voss wasn't a Jedi
Oh,
master. He's a
Goku.
Jedi. That could be Plo
Yeah,
Koon.
you're right.
Heartbreaking finale fate. Someone dies.
Well, we knew what happened to Dooku. He lost his fucking head.
I know, but this could be they probably freaking teasing you, or they freaking it's something that they try to make you
Again,
think it is.
this is probably all in the article. I just didn't read it. This is why JJ would have been handy.
We're gonna have JJ go back over these to see how bad.
That's what I was saying, because we got another one. There's one more that's rumor based. It's the
okay.
Acolyte.
I have a good rumor with this.
Okay, give us a good rumor.
Ties to the Sith. So
I just saw where these are at, and they are 100% bullshit from the bullshit rumor sites. So he was putting one on. Go ahead. Give me the rumor, Dom.
Oh no, well there's a rumor about the Acolyte is that there's a couple new planets that they mentioned. I can't remember the names of the planets that they're bringing in, but what happens is that there's a bunch of Jedi Knights that go to a village that's being attacked by these aliens that are savages, and they save them, and in return they take a couple of small Force-sensitive children from the village, and one of the girls that they take, her older sister wanted to go, but they said no. But what happened?
Them?
What happened?
Who took them?
The Jedi.
Wait,
don't get too deep into it.
I'm not getting too deep into it. I'm saying, wait, the Jedi took kids as payment for helping the town?
Kids in return for helping the villagers from the aliens. The aliens come back and kill a lot of the villagers, and the Jedi's came too late. So now the sister of one of the little Force-sensitive girl that the Jedi's took, asked that she wants to go with them. They said no, and she goes, "That's the only family I have." They said no.
Dude,
so,
okay. First off,
that's
go back. I just read it. Okay. Dom, are you still going on this one? I got the other one covered.
Oh, Count Dooku?
Okay, yeah, I got this one covered. It's not
Count Dooku. Go back to the Dooku one so you can
explain it? By the way, I'm just gonna call this site out because they're full of shit. It's Inside the Magic, which is 100% full of shit. They just make shit up all the time. We all agreed?
He got
Everybody
picked up,
agrees it's a
though. I
bullshit
think
site,
this
right?
one might have got picked up across the way, too.
Yeah, but this is where it first came from. It's called Inside the Magic. If you've never seen it before, they just throw bullshit against the wall. Every day they got like 15 articles coming out. They're like clockwork. They throw shit up against the wall faster than monkeys do. Okay, so they're saying that Count Dooku fucking murked Yaddle.
Yaddle, huh?
Yeah, that's the big thing. To impress Palpatine, he murks Yaddle, even though Yaddle's still alive. Like when
Yaddle kills Yaddle.
Yeah, but Yaddle's sitting on the fucking council in the movies. So like
that's what I'm trying to say.
Trying to say, well, when did he do it?
Yeah, but
does he would have had to have been between 1 and 2, right, or something?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be.
No, time out. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, I read what they said. They said, as he's being recruited, so when he leaves the order for the Jedi Order, because that's when he's recruited for Palpatine. So he killed her, but she's somehow still alive during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
Maybe it was another Yoda thing. Maybe it was
Yaddle.
Yaddle.
No, it says
maybe it was Yaddle. You just misread it.
Maybe it was Yahtzee.
How do you freshly recruited by Palpatine brutally murders Yaddle? That's what it said. Fucking quote.
I believe you. Well,
that's what we're dealing with here.
Sense.
That's what we're dealing with here.
Maybe Count Dooku had a relationship with.
We don't need to try to figure that one out. That don't make no sense. Already doesn't make no sense.
I like that one. I like that one. So he's mad. So he had a dream because he had a relationship with Yaddle, right? And he's mad at her because she stayed to be a Jedi and she got in the council. He didn't. So like he has a dream, like a Force dream, where he murders her. All right, that's creepy as shit.
For all we know, Yoda and Yaddle could be like very common names in their species, like Johnson.
Yeah.
You know. And then we have like a Terminator situation where Dooku just kills the wrong Yaddle.
The wrong Yaddle.
Kills the wrong Sarah Connor.
God, it was
a clone.
It was literally like they call themselves in the side of the magic so they could present themselves at like they the whole thing acts like it's a Disney thing. They like do the castle, knockoff version of the castle up there as their logo. It's a whole clickbait site. They do everything to make it look like it's an official Disney site. This is not true, but yes, I like it.
But all kidding aside, Yaddle was on was on the council in Attack of the Clones, right?
Right,
he was there. So, do we? All right, okay, it could be a bullshit site.
It is.
How could it?
But
what do you mean? It could be.
That could be. It's 100% bullshit.
Is it? is the story tales before these stories, or it could be in between things that
they watched. He said they watched. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm going to quote it again. They watched an episode. In the episode, Count Dooku, freshly being recruited by Palpatine and leaving the Jedi Order, kills Yaddle to prove his weight. So that means it happened as soon as he left. We know that's not true because I just read a book that referenced him. Just read a book that we're going to review. And that's not what he did as soon as he left. He didn't kill Yaddle. And Yaddle's still alive. They referenced
when did he leave?
Yeah,
how long ago did he leave before we got these prequel movies?
A while. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's not like he left. You're like, oh, he left right after episode 1.
Because he's trying to fill in gaps. Maybe it's a story in see.
Because he left. Obi-Wan Kenobi was what? 12? 10?
10 years.
12?
10 years before New Hope.
Then he's. And he had left already, so he left before that. So yeah, I mean, it had to have been like 15, 16 years before.
Yeah, but how long has he been Doc Tyrannus?
Well, I would assume right after he left. I mean, it's right. It's shortly after he left the Jedi Order.
After he got recruited, so it would have been when he left the Order, which again would have been
because when he in the book,
Phantom Menace even started.
Yeah, in the book, he's still going back to the temple, but he's Darth Tyrannus. So like,
so you don't think Disney's going to change things again like they did, but like taking and messing up canon again like they're doing now?
They did. You don't know, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, Tom, we could say we don't know, or we could say there's just a site who made up a crazy ass story.
Yeah,
we're not doing anything we're never going to see. Which one's more practical? Which one's more likely at this point?
Yeah, $100. If I put $100 on it, I'd say the bullshit site that is full of shit.
That said they watched an episode of an animated series that they're probably still making because you don't just make animated shows like that. It takes time.
No, that's a funny thing though, Wayseeker, because like technically. He was the second Sith apprentice because he was the apprentice. He was his secret apprentice. I see what you're saying there,
he was side piece.
Yeah, he was his secret apprentice. Yeah, well, and you know this too. They have now blurred the line with all that, like especially with that portion of it. That is something that they've kind of. There's a couple ways they got around that thing.
Yeah, no real rule of two.
But I guess you think so after Maul would, I guess it could be, that's really pushing it. You'd have to, that's really
let's leave that one where it was in the past. Let's go back to this one. So
what's this one now? We're on a planet and what's happening?
No, I was saying that the story begins.
Jedi are helping people in exchange for children.
Helps village.
Apparently,
I'll get rid of these savage, these alien-looking creatures that are attacking them. And in return, they want the force-sensitive kids, some force-sensitive kids, so they can join the Jedi. And they do that, and they give one. So there's two sisters, and the one sister's force-sensitive, and the other one isn't. And then, to make a long story short, they attack again.
Took that story from Harry Potter. We're talking about Lily Evans and her sister Aunt Petunia, who she was a Muggle, and she was mad she couldn't go to Hogwarts too.
Well, you know what? It tells you how the Jedis are too. The Jedis are messed up just as much as the Sith. That they'll break families up just to take the force-sensitive kids. The synopsis of this sounds pretty good, but Disney will find a way to fuck it up.
But Disney didn't give us a synopsis, so the synopsis you're reading is somebody else's.
I know, but what the rumor is, I know, but it sounds good. I hope it
sounds like Harry Potter. He just said
it sounds like Harry Potter to me.
I know.
So wait, the Death Eaters came to this little small village, and then they were recruiting wizards. One of them had magical ability, the other one didn't. And anyway,
well, that's when Thanos showed up, and he's like an ancient Sith.
All rumors. This is why
rumors.
This is like this.
Yeah. No, I just have to tell you, Jedi did not take children to break up the families. Jedi took the children to save them from the Sith.
I know.
So
you're right.
I learned that from Ruben.
No, you're right. You're right. But I'm just saying, in my eyes, you're gonna break up a family.
From a certain point of view. If you look at it from one eye, there's still
Well, Lawrence Kasdan at least is ready to make Solo 2.
Yes, Solo 2. Let's do it.
I wouldn't mind it, but I just don't
know if I want it.
Make it the underworld, man. Go. Listen, They got to make a legit underworld. The Book of Boba Fett was not a legit underworld freaking story.
No, legit. No, wasn't anything underworld about it.
Exactly. You see,
let's instead of making Solo 2, how about we just make a Solo series? I think I would like that. I think I would like that.
I think I would prefer a series at this point.
Once again, how about we just make the shit we already have on the books? Once again,
there's that.
Yeah.
Well, the people who don't have shit to do, like Kasdan, they want work. So he's lobbying to do some work.
You should work on that mustache and then work on something else after.
He does have a mustache there, doesn't
that's
he?
like a 12-year-old dirt stash, bro. Like, come on.
A little bit.
I think he got that 5 o'clock shadow on his nose. Caterpillar.
One more Solo related. Taron Egerton apparently
he was actually
was
supposed to be
offered
Solo.
the role of Solo, which would have been really weird because my man is short like me. I'm not saying that.
I really like Tom Cruise look tall. You can do
the
it.
other dude.
Stallone is not very tall either, but they always make him look like a giant.
Who's that?
You get the platform shoes that.
Oh man, they really tried. I was watching Days of Thunder the other night. Man, they really had to stretch to make Tom Cruise not look like a little person next to Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
He's something on a stool.
It's something. It's like, hey, he's on the steps. Like it was awkward at times. I'm like,
yeah, where is that?
His
Lando
presence
series?
is 6'5".
There you go.
Maybe the announcements we're gonna get Lando series finally.
I want Lando.
Maybe that, you know what? I'm hoping too, because I hope it'd be called the Lando Files or whatever it's going to call it, the Chronicles or whatever it's going to call it.
The Lando Files.
The Lando.
That's not cool. That's neither one of those titles are cool.
No, the Lando.
How about we
Chronicles?
do Lando's little black book and we just go through all the ladies in his little
Lando's
lady
And
robot.
robots.
Well, he does droids
Robots,
now.
aliens.
So watch it.
Man who is laid with an Octavarian. Oh wait, that was Star-Lord. But that was our week.
Oh yeah, they did the sibling split up too. Yeah, Joe, they did the sibling split up in the Old Republic game. That was really cool, actually.
That was our week in Star Wars, though.
Twins?
Without JJ, that was JJ's news.
I'm what? Hey, what's going on, Darth Lopez? Okay, without JJ, that was JJ's news.
Maybe when JJ sends us these links from now on, we should maybe we should.
You know why
I
he
was
doesn't
going
show
to
up?
when I just.
You know what? No, time out. You know why he doesn't? He did that purposely to put those in to not show up to see what we do with them.
Wait, we didn't talk about the Andor trailer. We didn't have the Andor trailer in the news.
Well,
We said the Andor trailer is coming tomorrow on Good Morning America.
I'm just saying, some
I
biggest
don't need
people.
to show it again. We
I
said
wonder
it.
how much ABC paid for that. You know they had to pay to
They
get
own
that.
it.
Why? They own it. Yeah.
They own it.
Disney,
Oh, do they own it?
bro.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Promoting
it.
their
They're
own
own
thing.
stuff.
Oh Jesus!
They don't have to pay shit.
Okay.
Yeah, zero.
I don't know who
0.0.
owns water where. I don't know.
They
anything
own
about
everything,
zero.
Jedi. ESPN,
I'm on the
ABC.
satellite now, and there's nobody here. Exactly.
Disney
I
owns
think
ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They own
ESPN.
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 The Angels, the
And
anime,
Yeah, and a
the
bunch of
Anaheim
shit.
Ducks. They own a lot.
They own a
Disney owns
lot.
it.
They own a
They're
hell of a lot.
partners with the
afraid of
Rock
that.
and the NXL with the
Yeah.
XFL.
Disney, they own Marvel.
You know,
A lot
Marvel.
of shit.
Do they own
Pixar,
YouTube? If they do, we might be in
Fox.
trouble.
Not yet.
I even read a rumor they were one of the potential buyers for the WWE, but I don't think that's going to happen.
This is what Lopez said about Acolytes. Oh, that's right. They're not filming. He called me about it too. And I go, because there's another one that it's a she, and she just has just wild ass shit. And I go, okay, Lopez.
Well, it's supposed to be like a
Reckon
martial
the
arts.
last
They mentioned
video.
martial arts, so it's going to be like a martial arts type of show. Which I'm for that.
Huh?
They said it's going to be like a martial
I
arts
didn't
type
even get to
of.
finish what I was saying.
Oh no, I know what you're saying, but
He sneaks this rumor, just whoosh,
No.
faloosh, faloosh.
it just came into my head.
Well, it's like it is a talent, dude. It is a true talent to be able to come up with all that
Just
stuff.
imagine if I had the rumor show. The rumor show would be
Oh my god, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. All right, ABC, 20th Century Fox, ESPN, Lucasfilm, yep, Hulu, Marvel, all the Disney, yep, all the Disney. Very good. Bro. And once again, thank you for all our members. Great stuff. We're going to put out another video for you guys soon. As soon as people get off their booty, because at least I'm doing it. And thank you for everybody that checked out Back Issues. If you haven't, we'll link it to the end of the show. Back Issues is back. We won't be back for probably another month, but we were back again, and we'll be back.
Yeah, this is not this was the last episode, but this is what I have handy.
Why do you keep using the one? I put the other one, gave you the other one.
Yeah, but
They
it's
all
not
good?
loaded up here.
I don't know. All right.
It's a lot of work.
Anyways, okay, good stuff. And check out box openings every Friday night. Now, what do we have next?
Yeah, Mail Call Madness.
Mail Call Madness, MCM.
Where you can see Jedi get things like these.
Yay! Oh, those are so...
That's an old one. I know it's an old picture. But
That's an old picture, yeah.
you just want to be this cool.
Yeah.
We're not doing a rumor show. Jeez, could you imagine if Dom and Lopez got together to do a rumor show? It could rival fucking...
I'm going to do it. You already mentioned Lopez, so this is what he would say it would be.
Oh, my God. Ugh. At least when it's one-on-one with Lopez, I can talk him off the ledge.
Yo,
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
make
a
sure you
pretty
check
laid
out...
back guy, but I don't know if I could. I don't even know if I could be a part of that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who would produce it because, like, if you wouldn't be able to say anything, and you just go like, "Oh my God."
No, there need to be somebody to kind of pull it back on to the.
I was wondering this question though, like, and I kind of truly do from just like an outside mental aspect, like, kind of wonder this: is it that like it doesn't matter, like Dom, it doesn't matter that the rumors are completely made up and fake, right? Like, it's just the somehow you get an adrenaline out of just hearing a rumor, right? Like I don't understand that.
The rumors, I'm saying the rumors and the theories out there are so much better than the actual product they put down.
Oh,
which
okay.
It gets and when you hear the rumor, it sounds cool. So then when the actual product hits, you're disappointed because
right.
Because the Rise of Skywalker, the rumors that were dropping with the Rise of Skywalker was so fucking badass. I was like, damn, I wish that happened.
Oh, yeah.
But it did. And then the Mandalorian, like all these, the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And that.
But the Mandalorian's been good.
No, the Mandalorian was good, but there was actual rumors.
But they didn't get anything right on the Mandalorian.
See, the trick with Dom, man, the trick with Dom is he gets so excited about, because he loves these rumors, he loves theory crafting, and we make that a part of the show we do on Friday. But you got to find that one thing that Dom loves more than rumors, and that's opening packages. Oh, so that when he gets going, you say, "Hey, Dom, it's time to open a package," and he's like, "Oh," and then he stops, and he'll go.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We got some goodies going on.
Wait, you're shaking your key. Jedi's shaking the key. You want to go for a ride? You want to go for a ride? Go over the package.
Look, in the back corner.
See, like that's why, because I'm the polar opposite. I hear these things. I'm like, listen. First off, some of that's just batshit crazy, but like, okay, but set your expectations. Like, let's level our expectations. I think I know. People always give me a hard time, but like, I'm like, oh yeah, that wasn't so bad or whatever. And it's they're basically fan fiction. Yeah, there was one where
I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's the people who are doing the shows that are throwing out these theories out there, and people are clinging onto them and getting them. No, just to throw people off. Because
no. That's not how content.
Friggin' theories are
you
out
see
of
how
this
we
world.
make content here? No. You see how we make content here? That's not how that works. Content creators, because they need clicks, like people like you to watch their stuff, they go behind the scenes, and we got the programming too, and you can see what hot stuff is coming up, what hot words or hot whatever for a couple days. They take that and they go like, okay, cool. What are we going to talk about? Well, what can we do? Oh, we could do a Harry Potter thing and I just watched Harry Potter. And guess what they did? Let's put that in there and let's switch it though and make it Star Wars. We'll put it out. And there you go. And next thing you know, you got Harry Potter, Star Wars, and cool. Okay, what's the 20 hottest titles or keywords under Star Wars? Okay, cool. Let's throw them together in word salad and we're going to push it. I mean, that's what they do. It doesn't take a lot.
To be fair,
amazing.
50 Shades of Grey was Twilight fan fiction, right? So you can make franchises out of fan fiction.
No, there is. But that's why where I hate it. Look, I like what you're saying, but I hate it because then you see this high, and then two things happen after that. Either one, you try to bullshit yourself after it comes out and be like, even though it was dog shit or like not up to expectations, you're like, this is the greatest thing ever. Or you do what we see sometimes too, where people are like, God, I wanted it to be so good. And I wish it was better, which,
like the Rise of Skywalker, right? I'm going to give you a good instance with Snoke. Actually, the whole thing with Snoke. Snoke was going to tell Luke, he was going to run into Luke and they were going to fight. And then at the end, they were going to find out that Leia was in cahoots with everything. She was the Dark Lord Sith behind everything. But then she passed away in real life. They had to change it.
Remember, that's somebody's crazy idea.
I know.
This is what they actually wrote. We're going to film. Not the same thing.
But that was one of the rumors.
That was not.
You can make a rumor about
I
anything.
don't want to see that. No, I do remember because they had what was the name of the fucking script that leaked? It was not Dark
Oh,
Forces.
the Colin
Duel of
Trevorrow
Fates.
script?
Duel of
Duel of
Fates.
Fate.
No,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
It was-
I read. I know that one, but there was something else behind that. But the fact is that
No,
Well,
no,
the
no, no,
one
no,
that
there
leaked
wasn't.
was-
No, there wasn't.
he
No,
was
Duels of
manipulated
Fate-
by
No, time out.
Palpatine the
Stop,
entire
stop,
time.
stop. No, Duels of Fate was an actual fucking thing.
I
He-
know,
that
Duels
was
of
act-
direct
I
movie.
like that Duels of
but
Fate.
you're
I thought
saying-
that was
what you're
awesome.
saying isn't
But I'm
an
just
actual
saying that
thing.
Yeah.
one of the
I
one
know
of the
what
rumors.
you're saying. The rumor, though, but Duels of Fate wasn't a rumor. It was.
No, it was the actual story. I know, but
Yeah,
one of the
and it was just
rumors
fucked up.
before
Two
the
different
Duels of Fate,
things.
Yeah.
before the Duels of Fate, that Leia was manipulated by Palpatine the entire time, and she was
But-
the secret Sith.
We get that, but all we're trying to say is that's still just somebody's fanfic idea.
Yeah,
That was never really part
Yeah,
of the
Mark,
plan.
that's what I'm saying.
There's a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
Mark, that's what I'm saying. Well, I think Moonlight let me down on some other stuff. I didn't hear any of the rumors. I don't follow the rumors on the stuff.
Yeah, I got Castor Yaddle. All right.
But I'm just saying, like, yes, no, I agree with you. I do. That's why we try to, like, we're not trying to give Dom a hard time, but that's why we try to temper it
No, no,
down, and why we don't do
No, I
rumor stuff.
understand where you're
because,
coming
like,
from.
we don't want
I
people to
just
be
like-
upset and just
I
down
like it
about
because it's actually pretty cool, some of the stuff. And it's a lot of it's far-fetched. I understand that. It's like reaching for things, but there are some things when you listen, you're like, come on. That actually sounds cool.
Yeah,
Now, when you
because yes, there's a lot of cool things that could happen,
no,
You know,
definitely.
the next
but it
time,
doesn't mean they're
next time-
going to.
The next time JJ puts this rumor bait in his little news thing and then does not show up to endure what I'm having to endure right now, we're gonna have words. Yeah, I
What
know
role?
he's laughing his ass off
Toys.
somewhere right now.
all
about
right,
all that.
toys. Hey, wait, here it is. Open the box. Open the box.
Here we go. Here we go. Now, we knew we got the Obi-Wan from the Obi-Wan show, and we knew that Vader was around the corner, but here is the actual product, which is this. I might pull the trigger and definitely get this because this is so badass. The head sculpt with the Anakin face in the mask, his eyes move, moving eye action. How creepy is
His
that?
eyes move.
Yes, the eye in Anakin, you see it moves. You can adjust it and make it move.
Oh, you can adjust it. It's nothing like follow you around the room.
No, that's creepy doll
I
stuff.
was like, wait a second.
Oh,
Hey,
wow,
look
look
who's
who's
up.
here.
Wait till it's all over here. Just throws a bomb and just waits till the mess is gone. Okay. All right.
So it has a light up base. This is the deluxe one. The deluxe one has the two head sculpts, the chest plate, the light up, the all the eye features, and both.
Tell me if there's anything you want me to zoom in on for you.
No, that
It's
you go to the
crazy
next. Go to the next. Thing. It has the IC rolling eye function. The eyes. You have the LD lights powered. The lightsabers light up. You
That's
have the
cool.
different hands. You got the bases. You got like the different chest plates.
The
There's
It's
a lot
really
of
cool.
hands there.
It's cool.
Why is there an odd number though?
What?
There's 9 hands.
You probably got the other hand. Like you change. You could
Probably
change
lost
that.
one.
It's like, wait a second.
And then you have
Why
the
they don't match
Inquisitor.
up?
You have one of the Inquisitor's holograms. I think that's Riva. Is that Riva or the hologram? Or I don't know. I can't make it up.
Oh, the hologram?
No, Grand Inquisitor. Grand Inquisitor. So
Doesn't
that's the
look like
Grand
him
Inquisitor.
either.
So
But it does say grand. But it
let's
doesn't
go
look
to
like
the
him
next page.
either. Next page.
A couple more shots of what Vader looks like. It's really cool. I don't know. I'm debating it. It didn't go for pre-order yet. I know that. It's just really cool. Everything lights up. You have the head, the light up stand, the lightsabers.
It's interesting, but these things are just what's the price point
The
on
price
this?
on this one is like $285, but
For the regular?
the deluxe is like at least $300.
Three something. That's just so much out of pocket.
Go to the next one. It's one more piece of the same thing because it wasn't that much drop. So we get the fight with Obi-Wan and Vader, and then we get a little picture in the background of what's to come. The Inquisitor's coming.
Could have done this, Inquisitor. There he is. A lot better. They already made him.
Yep, I know.
$5, Five Below.
1 point of articulation to 32 points of articulation.
Yeah, but you get a fat head compared to something that actually
I
looks
know.
good.
But look, this sucks because they got the whole bad batch. The other ones just dropped. So you got the whole bad batch, Hot Toys. You're gonna have all the Inquisitors.
God damn, how much is that going to cost though? Think about it. If you got to shell out for all of the Bad Batch,
That's like $250,
like $1,500 at least.
Yeah,
A lot of
Bad Batch are about $250.
And then, yeah, well, unless you get Omega, I guess.
Well,
then you gotta
Wrecker,
tack on
Wrecker's like
another-
300 because Wrecker's the big one. Is the
All right.
biggest one.
Let's
Not
just
300.
call it
Don't let, I'm talking to someone in the background. Don't let him do it. Don't
Call
make
it
him
2K.
take you on vacation instead. Please, you deserve it. Don't let him do it. Go on vacation instead. You heard what I said.
You go on vacation, you'll enjoy it, but you come back and your vacation's
Yeah,
over.
no,
You buy this.
no.
You buy this. You can always look at it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
you
yeah.
also got to keep replacing batteries.
Yeah,
That's
she'll
true.
be smiling. That's more.
All right, go to the next one.
All right, moving on.
All right, I took this off of the Boba Fett fan club from IG because the best picture I seen, I couldn't find the big picture of this. So NFTs.
Oh,
They
boy.
dropped
Get
Boba Fett
Marco
NFTs.
going now.
And you had the first appearance of Boba Fett NFT. If you own it, you're lucky. So there was 3 different versions. You had an animated version, a regular version, and an ultra rare version. And they sold out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but that just means they're gifts.
Everything
and
sells out in a
pictures.
heartbeat.
Not even like an actual blockchain.
Dom, the thing with the NFTs is, all the bots, they clear out. But if you go back to a lot of the things that sold out, like all the comic drops at least, most of them are selling for less than the drop value now.
I know.
Like,
I know.
it's not where it was a year ago
Get
where
your
people
money.
were,
Yeah, when you get your money out.
were
I'm not
talking
good.
up and you
I
couldn't
don't
get
know.
any-
Somebody did an episode on that one time, and I kind of called it. And I don't know if anybody listened to that one.
Get your gyms ready, guys. Get your gyms
Yeah,
ready.
Listen,
Jim,
I'm not
ready.
into NFTs. You know, I would have loved to get this, but
I'll send you a fuck. I'll make you a gift. Dude, I'll send it to you in your email, bro. It's the same shit. I'll copy this gift. I'll send it to you in your email. I'll tell you it's on the
I missed the window to cash out on all of my NFT thingies.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm just gonna hold on to them for fun because
all
I
right.
may
yeah,
just
right.
want to read ASM1 on my phone.
Yeah,
Slam
yeah,
it
Yeah,
in
click
my
the
face.
picture is free. No, but it
That's
goes.
right.
You have to get a. You have to get an app, the VV app. And-
Needle, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
You
what
also
was
have
that?
to give them your ID too, just to buy anything.
D tier. Oh, Lopez, come on!
That was
Brought
actually
out
a
a
crazy fight
tractor
last
and
night.
put the damn ring.
All right, you can go to the next one.
I don't know if you
So-
can't find that anymore. That's like an NFT. You can't find that one anymore, dude.
More rare.
Yeah, it is. It's that. If anybody can get their hands on that episode, let me know.
I have a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So Gentle Giant is coming out with a concept trooper, another statue. Pretty cool. I
He's
think
a
this
knight
is a fan choice exclusive.
It's like an awkward pose to be holding that gun.
Stop it, Joe.
Yeah, I know. All right, but pretty badass. You got a lightsaber and a shield. I like that. I love the concept art. I always like the concept the Ralph McQuarrie stuff, which is really cool.
Did you already get the Amway?
I didn't put it up there.
Sure.
I'm giving him a break. I'm giving him a break. His wife already got dig into him because I told her to take her
All
on
right,
vacation.
before you say this is blurry, before we
it
get to
is
the
blurry.
actual thing. So Hall H at the end of San Diego Con had a Funko like party, and they were giving away exclusive pops that were like limited to 500 pieces, and they had a Chang-Chi that was all
Shang-Chi.
red. They had a Johnny from Cobra Kai that was all black. They had a Freddy Funko that had a shopping bag that he was it was the San Diego Con Freddy Funko, and then they had the Demigorgon from Stranger Things. They had a red one, a white one, and a blue one. They all glued all 500 pieces.
We get
each.
to Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, so anybody who came, what happened?
What's it? Go.
Yeah.
Anybody who went to the show who came there, they got a free pop in a box. It was one of these. Now this is the Ahsoka pop. Nobody
That's what we were
pulled-
waiting for. The Star
Yes.
Wars connection.
Nobody pulled this one. And of course, whoever took the picture has that Bigfoot and UFO freaking goddamn.
Well, the picture's not as bad as you made it out to be. I mean, I could tell it's.
You can tell, but it's still blurry. How can you not take a clear picture of this?
Yeah, what number is that?
It's a four.
That
Is
is
it
number
454?
464.
464.
I have it over there somewhere. I got the
I don't
Ahsoka.
know.
But anyway,
Am I the only one that thinks when they do this though that's like even lazier than normal pops? It's like let's just paint the entire thing blue.
Well, there's also that one dude from Pops. That
Or
says
we
he's
just
got,
won't
like,
paint it. We'll just make it out of blue plastic.
Yeah, there's also that one guy from Pops that went on stage that one time and says, "Yeah, I got buckets loaded of these exclusives sitting in my house." He's got containers. He fucking came out on stage and said it. So like, I still don't trust Pop Market for anything. So these are
anyway,
probably
so 500 pieces. It dropped. No one pulled it, and the Shang-Chi was $2,000 when it dropped. I don't know what it is now, but it's Ahsoka, and whoever's a Ahsoka fan,
There was a buyer at $2,000.
yeah, someone bought it at $2,000.
Well, here's my question, Dom.
There.
I looked because I was trying to find a better picture for all of us to use. Why hasn't anybody bought
Don't
or
touch my
sold
old phones, Joe?
any of these yet?
Yeah.
There's not one bought or sold.
No, because I don't
All
know.
the other
if
ones
they-
you listed. I saw
Well,
copies sold. I
actually
saw
think
what they
that
look
what
like.
they did was they held them back. No one got them because I don't think they were going to do that. I think this is going to be maybe New York City Comic Con. They'll drop it, maybe, or Emerald City
That
Comic Con.
sticker's a Hall H sticker. It doesn't work in New York.
I know.
Comic-Con.
They could change the sticker. They could take the sticker off and put another
Fill it
sticker,
off,
slap
yeah.
another sticker on. But who knows? It's stupid, but
That makes
don't
me even
understand.
more upset. Then
Yeah,
Just don't be just as easy.
Dude, I don't understand how you. I'm serious though. I mean, I know I'll rag on the rumors thing, but like, how you people with the Pops, especially after the dude who was one of the guys that was the creators of the Pop guy that's at the show, was like, yeah, I literally have got cases of this stuff in my house and in my garage from these cons, and you're going like, yo, that sounds kind of sketch. But you're
yeah,
saying
but you know what?
Yeah,
Because
but
now
people do
listen,
that
on
all
to
the
your side.
time, but yeah.
No, this is the guy that
Mariatti?
does it. Like, this is the guy that he works for Pops.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Is it Mariatti or Mike? Because there's two
I don't
people.
know. It's the one guy on
Well,
the stage.
Mariatti
dude.
sold
Told me to
his
watch.
stakes. Sold the stakes to the remember they sold it to eBay. The guys, they have the new CEOs now of the company that are going to be launching into a new direction. But
Whatever.
like, I don't understand.
Some of those now anyway.
You know, the Pops are funny. They'll drop a pop, they won't drop it, but that was kind of funny with that whole Ahsoka thing. Not one person got the Ahsoka.
To me, that goes back to Amway. That sure does seem like a sham. When you guys are like, they could just take the stickers off. Okay.
You can take this. That's why you have to be careful with the stickers.
It's not Amway. It's Confederated Products. It's
The stickers can
completely
be
different
taken off,
company.
and
What was it?
different
there's a
quality.
lot of fakes out there that people.
All right, I'm doing Go. If anybody remembers that movie from way back in the day, Go.
What was Amway before Amway? Because we have it. It's out here. It's out of Grand Rapids. It's
Smells like CK1.
low. What was Amway before it was Amway? Anyways, all right. So let's get into comics. Dr. Aphra 3, pretty good storyline actually. I was surprised at first. I was like, oh, it started off a little bit slow. She does this back thing, and we're going back to the Eternal, and it's almost like a split personality. But it does say that it's technology.
It's Mega Aphra.
Yeah, so it does it starts to go back through her memory. It uses her tech to go into her mind. Then it shows us a couple back scenes. Like, do you guys remember from Rogue One the little slug character thing that sucks on the brains?
We'll kill it.
Yep, she was in the prison with one of those for a while. It talks through that. I was like, okay, well, this is kind of, and then Just Lucky, the first time they met, the first time she stole an artifact. I was like, okay, it kind of seems filler. But it got really a little bit deeper into it and then started going into, it really did reveal what they are. We were under the impression maybe that they were trying to impersonate Sith because, whatever. And they actually weren't. They were trying to, well, they were and weren't. So they were and were not.
I don't think it was impersonated. It was more like or become as powerful as or steal the
Yeah,
power.
so they were trying to do it to defend themselves, actually. This little bat creature eventually takes them and kills a couple Sith to protect themselves from the Sith. And the Sith eventually kill them, and that's what separates the Sith Eternal's power again. However, I thought it was pretty good. I thought they did a great job on it, and the story actually isn't over. They kind of linked it a little bit into Crimson Dawn, and now Aphra under the possession of, like, that's it too. They also said that it isn't a Sith thing. Like, I remember when JJ and me were talking about originally, we were like, no, it's a technology. It's not the dark side power. It's not a Sith power. And people are like, no, it's Dr. Aphra as a Sith. Well, they clarified right here that it has nothing to do really with Sith on that extension or the Force. It's just a mimic of the Force. And number 2, they're now going and they're bringing back the Death Droids. So we're going to see 000 and what's his name back, which is cool.
Do you think that Dr. Afra was kind of luring or tricking the Eternal into seeking out her droids because she has a plan for the droids to assist her or to free her or something?
Yes.
So that was all a trick.
I think so. Yes, I think so. But we're getting the Death Droids back, so that's kind of cool. I thought it was
everybody
a good book.
back, and you're getting Tolva back. You're getting the droids back. Like,
yeah,
we're getting the reunion book coming up.
There will be. There will be. Either way, I thought that book was pretty good. It was a good read. It's great to, after last week's stuff, to have that. Then we had OB3.
Kit Fisto.
Why was Kate Fisto on the front? Oh, I think he kind of showed up. Yeah, he did right here in the panel. But apparently, Obi was also storing his Old Republic general gear Clone Wars general gear in his hut.
Was it with his space whale meat he was tucking away in his shirt?
I guess. I don't know where it was. But he has a little bit of a flashback. And, I really did enjoy. I want to hear, because Jedi's, he's a vet, he's a service guy. And some of the stuff that Clone Wars had to deal with, too, was kind of making humanity out of clones or out of the armies and stuff. I think this went back to touch base with that type of stuff, right? Like, he really did get into when he was going back, he was dealing with, what's that guy's name? Eros, but he was also dealing with Cody. And kind of, there becomes another general in there, and the general's like, gives the rah-rah speech. We're going to be the first ones there. We're going to capture the flag. We're going to do everything.
And you got a special appearance of, I forget, what's his face? Major Blood right there.
Yeah.
It looks like Major Blood.
Yeah. But going through it kind of gave you back the humanity of the war, and you see it through Obi's eyes of when it kind of clicked with him. I thought that this was the story was, and it reminds me of like, oh yeah, Clone Wars wasn't always just stories of bounty hunter and stuff, and they did go into that humanity with the clones, and I thought this comic did a really good job of reminding us of that fact. I don't know what everybody else's opinion was on it. There was that guy that you're saying was Dr. Blood or whatever. Was talking shit to Obi at one point, and then it somehow loses his shirt and becomes a Greek god or something.
Greek god.
But yeah,
I was gonna say, was it Ren?
Yeah, I don't know.
I love taking up. They love showing the chest.
The pectorials. Yeah, the pectorials. But I don't know. What'd you think, Jedi?
Well, so about him keeping the uniform, I mean, that didn't surprise me at first because I still have some of my old uniforms too. So. But then when you think he's a Jedi and the Jedi aren't supposed to have attachments, you're like, okay, well, what are you keeping it for or something? So why are you hanging on to it? And then, but beyond that, at first, as I was reading this, I was like, okay, this is just another Clone Wars from the Clone Wars comic. We had a bunch of these expeditions or these missions that either he did with so-and-so or Anakin or whoever. So I was kind of like, is this what I'm going to get? But then I have to admit, I kind of forgot about that as I kind of read it because it was kind of a fun read, interesting read. And, the fact that even Obi-Wan has at least a shade or a touch of PTSD maybe is like it kind of brings home the reality of war.
Yeah. The message that goes through with it. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I was actually just thinking it was going to be, some of these minis haven't worked out that well, but this single story was really good. I don't know if the other guys liked it or not, but I did. So it was a good week in comics, at least. Back to back was pretty good. Next week, I like boss covers when it's only him on the cover, and we get 2. We get an incentive, and we get that Jesus.
The tag team world champions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's with the wrestling promo cover?
And we get the wrestling promo cover in the middle.
Let's mark him in the background.
Yep, that's me. So this is the last one for the Star Tours promotional campaign. Thank God this thing's gonna be over. What's going on, Astro? No, JG's been on the show. He just shows up late. He's been showing up late, unfortunately. He's got a couple other personal things going on. So. We're also FLC finally. Yeah. It seems like we've been talking about it forever.
Last week. Most of last week.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars, yeah. But Dark Horse is finally coming out with their comic books. We gave you a little preview of what's going to be in them. But number 1 is on FOC this week. They also have got
Mugshot Mando. Have you seen this man?
Yeah, because you could buy the whole fucking
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Why did not just do like a wanted poster cover or something? Like if you're gonna.
I know this is supposed to be like the old. Remember in Dark Horse when they used to do what do they call it, film accurate ones or
Photo
whatever.
cover.
But this, the photo cover. But this is the other thing. Number one, first print didn't sell out, and there's a bazillion copies out there, and like people are trying to sell the sets now.
Dude, they lit the second print before they even released the first
I
print.
know,
You know
it's
that.
such garbage. But I mean, it's garbage. I don't think I can defend it. I was almost going to try, but
There'll be another reprint after this too.
okay. Well, there's a sucker born every minute. I mean, the number ones right now at this point, you can buy the 150. I was talking to Wayseeker about this before the show. I was like, you can buy the 1 in 50, the 1 in 25, the 1 in 10, and all the covers for $50 shipped. So
They made a shitload of these books.
I mean,
Yes.
do you think
So
they'll
they don't
be?
need to make extra printings because they still have them lying around.
yeah, see, there's a sucker born every minute. He's going
Well,
to
the
buy
only one that's worth money
Anyway.
is the San Diego Con exclusive one. That's the only one.
You think
I
there'll
know
be
that
any
would
traction
be-
to when he first shows up outside of this book, like when it's not an adaptation?
I don't know. I doubt it.
I don't know.
Or is this,
I
like,
don't really
ruined that?
care for this San
I
Diego.
don't think it matters at this point. I think people are. I really do think people are getting smarter. There's always going to be some people who aren't. But when you just look at what really is going on, like people are getting it. They're figuring out like and hype so much.
Given how many copies were produced for the first print of this, do you think there'll be some buyers who think, okay, well, maybe the second print is the one to get because it will be less printed?
Well, I'll be honest.
I
I'll
mean,
probably
you see
buy
it in the chat already. I mean, like if it's for cover, I'm not saying don't buy it, but like they're doing 10,000 pretty much minimums on these second prints. Like if you know anything about comics, the rare second prints that were actually rare, which are the reprints anyways, it was well under that. Like 10,000 is a lot of
I think
fucking.
the mistake you can make is don't go ham and buy like half a short box worth.
Right.
Well,
Thinking it's gonna be like
But that's
buy
the
a
thing, too.
copy or two for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody's got to buy half a short box worth, otherwise they
Well,
won't sell.
I can tell you one thing. He goes, you're not going to see these on Chasing Ghost and Hard to Find books on Pete's channel.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
they're not going to be hard to find. So
No, but the problem's going to be when we are digging through boxes 20 years from now, figuring out, hey, I found a copy of Mando 1. Which one?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be so hard to identify books anymore where, hey, I found a New Mutants 98. Say what you will, how many were made? At least you knew. You got a New Mutants 98. You got New Mutants 98. Now you got to figure out which version, which
Okay, two
cover.
prints.
Is it a store exclusive? Is it an incentive variant? Is it a qualifying variant? Which one is it? Is it the first print? The second print?
I think it's going to stop. It's going to stop. I don't think it's going to
be
go
a
on.
headache.
You know,
I mean, there's going to be a point where it gets back to like the second prints, or like you got to remember, even second prints, as far as like a thing, it's not that old. I mean, it's new.
It's a more of a recent
thing.
phenomenon
And,
of
yeah. In
taking
grand
people's
scheme of-
money out of their pockets because
Yeah.
people hated the second print. Remember all those the Carnage, the the silver covers,
silver
like,
covers. They did it with
nobody wanted
Morbius
those.
too. Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
wanted the X-Men gold covers. Nobody wanted any of those. There's second. I don't want that.
They actually used to call it what it was.
87
They
gold.
call it a reprint, and it is like a second
Because
print.
it
A
is.
reprint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't want it, but now it's a thing. All right.
actually, I think the silver border Sprouse cover is the second printing.
That'd be
That's
cool.
gonna worth something.
That'd be cool. But I think too, like you'll find.
Why?
I think you're
There's
gonna.
a 1 in
find-
25 of that, isn't there?
I think
the
you're gonna
second
find.
print?
You see what Astral's gonna do with them? I mean, that's kind of cool. Like that's a cool idea.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Kind of cool idea.
Yeah.
Do something with it. Make it better.
I like that.
I
Dotson
did
cover.
forget what it was next. Oh no, I did next week already. Okay,
I think
and then we get the
boat.
last of the Obies. We get Sweaty Head on the end. Caldy Wound.
Bloody head. I
No,
always think it was like a cone head.
God, they
Don't
might
you
be-
remember, like whenever he's a Dark Horse, always painted him with like a sweaty head. Like it always
Okay.
looked like it was protruding something out of the top. It was very long. Maybe that's just me. I mean,
That
I don't
Dotson
know.
cover looks sweet. I like it.
Which one's that? Is that the one with
Middle.
the-
Middle
one
one.
in the middle.
I think the middle's the
Really? You
Dotson.
don't like the one with all the helmets on fire?
I like
No, that's-
No, that's pretty cool. But I
I
like
was
Dotson.
they're in a
That's one of the
canoe or
others I
something. There.
Oh, they are in a canoe.
They're in a canoe?
That's fucked up. Yeah, they're going down the Nile.
I was unaware.
Long as
I was unaware
Yeah.
the Amazon River
Yeah,
existed in
yeah.
another galaxy far, far away.
It's apparent you missed your rumor report where we Muggles are part of Star Wars, bro. Don't do that anymore. We're gonna cut that out and leave that to the end. You can
I have to go-
Acolyte's
I have
about
to go back and watch the
Ampetunia,
news
who's
now?
pissed she couldn't go to Hogwarts.
Yeah. So there it goes. This is from last week. We showed you a couple of pages from inside the Dark Horse. So, yeah, the Dark. Yeah, baby Moses. Okay, all right. Enough of that. So we got all that nonsense out of the way. We got 5 for 5 coming up. Unless JJ would like to touch on the news rumor part.
I didn't know what you guys talked about.
Oh, we
What's the
busted.
We
don't
don't
either.
cover the news, but
I covered the one that you did from what's the knockoff Disney site? What's it called?
Which one?
Yeah, the
Magic
one that
site.
has Into the
Inside-
Magic. The one that
Inside
does
the Magic.
yeah, the one that does like
Inside
whole
the
knockoff
Magic
of-
Hat?
Inside the Magic, yeah. I did that one. It was like they're gonna kill Yaddle. Like
some of them were
what?
straightforward.
How are they gonna kill Yaddle? But okay, I get it. And then Dom
There can
told
be
us
only
something
one.
about
Yoda species.
yeah.
It's like Highlander.
So what? So was the Acolytes? Dom said the Acolyte one was about twins being split up, and then
Yeah, it's about Ampetunia being pissed she couldn't
Not
go to
twins,
Hogwarts.
but a sister, two young. They split up. One was force sensitive, and the other one wanted to be with her. The Jedi said no. After they,
Okay, so it was Harry Potter's mom, Lily, was mad that she couldn't stay with Aunt Petunia, and she had to go to Hogwarts.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
come
at this
on,
point.
they stole Grogu from Gizmo. They stole this idea from this. They stole Star Wars is.
Wait,
You know
who
that
said-
guy-
we
you know
already
that does
covered
kinda- the
these
twins
whole
thing-
Grogu nonsense.
JJ, so is
Is
that
that
what
what
the
the twins thing does kind of remind me of, though?
The hell is that?
I
What?
hit the button by accident.
Video
I
game.
didn't-
Video
by
game.
accident.
oh the
I
video
thought I
game?
did that.
No, I
Video
didn't.
game? Video game? The video game. Old Republic. Old Republic.
Which one? Old
Saying
Republic.
Old Republic again, JJ. Did you freeze now?
What?
What does the
frozen.
twins thing remind you of? Oh, good Lord.
Oh, I was gonna say Visions.
Oh,
Mm,
fair.
The
Jedi
episode of the
favorite.
twins. One light side.
Ah,
dark side.
so that's what it
Both
was.
are,
Okay,
yeah.
But see, I
perfect.
don't think it's twins. I think it's just two sisters, and the young one is force sensitive, and she was taken away by the
Well, that
Jedi.
does kind of remind me of Old Republic then, if it's just
Yeah.
siblings.
no, that's Harry Potter.
Let's go out for 5 for 5.
Junior
So that was
Muggles.
the rumor, JJ. So you're confirming that was the rumor that you were going to feed us that was 100% made up. Yes?
Yes. Pretty
Okay,
much
very
anytime
good.
you see
Okay,
me put a rumor on there, it's probably at least 95% made up.
okay, very good. Go. Let's go into 5 for 5.
All right, now I'll hit the button. All right, so this one we might need to do 5 comics in 10 minutes because I feel like some of these picks are going to elicit some conversation out of
Can't
it.
do
But
that. We moved to 10 for 10 on TAC for that reason.
I
We
know.
can't
I'm
be
just
doing-
saying. All I'm saying is the books I put in here. I feel like we might want to talk a little bit about, but we got a little overtime if we need to.
Oh, Jesus. You guys are awesome. Chat. Thank you, chat.
So we are going to do our 5 Star Wars comics in 5 minutes, and I'm going to start the clock now and get into our first book. Our first book is our big ticket item, and this week's big ticket item is a 6.0 Star Wars 35-cent variant sale, which was a best offer on 8,500, where they accepted
Nice.
$7,800 on the 35-cent variant for 6.0.
Wow.
Jedi. Money.
Sell it, Jedi. Jedi, sell it.
You got 2 of them. Sell them.
I have 2 of them.
What grades you got? Jedi?
$7,800. And if you look at the recent, well, not recent, but if you go back in June, 4,300. You go back to January, 2,700. And then you got to go back. That's 2020. I'm sorry. That 2,700 was 2020. So the only other recent sale was 4,300 back in June. So go ahead.
In fact,
Jedi.
one of mine is a
Market.
red label CGC, so I'm going to ask for a multiplier on that one if I ever sell it.
Yeah. Well, see if you can hit that market high. Our next book is a unique item. Say what you will about this book for what it is. This is still be a cool book to get all of the signatures of the entire crew on it,
Ooh,
which
I
is
like
what this signature series is. $5,000 on this 9.8 Kanan number 6 that is signed by all of the voice actors for the
I was
entire
going to say
crew.
there can't be many of these out there.
Yeah, no, this has got to be unique. I mean, how many could be there? They have all 5.
That's
Only one
cool.
who didn't put their character name was Freddie Prinze Jr. Everybody else listed their character name under their
He's a
signature.
douche.
Well, that's
It's because Star Wars is for children.
voice
Douchebag.
actors. Voice actors do that a lot. Like experienced voice actors, they'll put the character name on there. that they
But
play.
Freddie didn't.
Because
he's a
usually like
douchebag.
Steve Bloom has probably been like the voice actor for like thousands of characters over his voice acting career. So
Wait, can we? I know you're being serious, but for a minute,
What's up?
JJ, can we hate on him? Can me and Jedi extremely show our hate for Freddie Prinze Jr. being a douchebag for saying that Star Wars is only for children, and you people don't fucking understand that's only for kids, even though he has no clue what he's talking about. Can we do that?
Sure.
Okay, now you can go seriously into your.
Okay, well, now that you had to put profanity in our little 5 for 5 clip,
Oh my god, I hate this one.
here we go. Dr. Afra,
I need
number
this
3,
Real
the 1 in 25,
one.
Oh, nice.
$1,600 for a
It's
9.
actually cheaper. That dropped.
Went down.
yeah, quite a bit.
Oh, it's cheaper, all right, there, Dom. You start looking at some of these prices. Oh,
Went down.
$1,600. Oh,
Yep.
it was just $2,000.
They'll drop back up again. And you know what's funny?
Never gonna drop. It's never gonna be as cheap as what I sold mine for ever
How's it gonna
since.
how's it gonna drop back up? I love that. It's gonna drop.
A
back
year
up.
ago, these were $2,500.
Yeah.
It'll be down to 1,000.
People
I'm
are
just
saying
saying.
that she's not on the cover. That's her on the cover. And
Yes,
that's,
it is
that's her. A lot of people say
Yeah.
she's on the cover, but that's her.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Dom, there's
they-
also a lot of these
It's
1 in
kind of long,
25.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. There's a lot of these 1 in
Very
25s. This was not a low printed book. There's thousands of the 1 in 25.
There is, but it's still a good book.
It's still a good book,
The
but
9/8s are good to have to put away, in personal collection.
let's get to our little gold Sprouse Mando cover.
Jedi
was
sends me
pointing
weekly
this out.
updates on this book.
Yeah,
I've
this
been
is a
checking this
$60
because somebody keeps saying they're gonna send me one, and they never do. So I keep checking it.
Okay, no. I'll send you. I was
and
actually
the
gonna put
price
that.
is
You know what,
dropping.
Jedi? I have a few. I'll send you one.
Send. I have it in a box for him,
Yeah,
ready to
the
go.
9/8s are dropping
I'm
as they
joking
go.
with it.
Look, $60 these days.
Yeah.
Y'all remember when this came out? It was only a
Yep.
couple months ago, back in March.
I have a
Told you
9/8.
wait.
$200 right
Told
out
you
of the
wait a
gate.
month.
$70. $70 when I got it.
Told you wait a month.
Don't let FOMO get you. Don't let it get
$200
you.
people were shelling out back in March.
I'm telling you, the
4
second
months
printing,
later,
the
it's
second
60.
printing is going to be worth money. That one's going to be the better one.
Oh my god.
All right, well, we got one
Well,
more.
I think it might be the better one, but I don't know what that really means.
Yeah.
Let's look at our heir to the empire. Let's look at Thrawn newsstand.
I have that one.
Where do we go with the newsstand? Are we still going down? Is a 9/8 at $1,600 down, or is that up?
Wrong picture.
You got the wrong picture.
9.4. That's,
Oh shoot!
We got 42 seconds to change it.
No, I
There you
don't.
go.
I'll just go to the next slide, which has the regular sales. It's
Yeah.
2,700 and 2,800. It was just the
That's
wrong
down.
slide mixed in the middle.
Which is weird because I mean this is the one that's coming up, right? Like we know Thrawn's coming up. Like we know
Yeah.
he's coming like the next year.
But back
Holy
in
crap.
September, this was the
Wow.
best offer on $6,500.
Yeah, right.
Now it's
I think-
2,700.
I think part of it too is the fact that I think people one forget
There's a ton of it though. Go ahead.
that he's
That's a solid point.
fact that there's
Oh,
more
JJ's
money's
right
getting
now.
graded as you go.
Yeah, there's more big grades, so they're showing up all
There
over the
are.
place.
There are more
Yeah.
showing up, but still
Yeah,
half
great.
price from where it was a year ago. And that was the 5. And I do have an overtime.
Well, for overtime, I'm going to bring in Wayseeker. So, Wayseeker, welcome.
Hey,
Bring me in for
Hey,
overtime.
hey,
Wait,
what's up?
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the show.
So that's me. Okay, go ahead. What's overtime?
Our overtime
go.
book is one that JJ shared with us this week, and it's not a comic, so I thought it was kind of interesting, and I was kind of surprised by this sale. Our PX version of this High Republic Star Wars Insider, $250.
That's not graded?
Nope,
No.
Oh, I need to sell another one of these.
$250 raw.
I
Is
have
that up or
one
down?
copy.
That's
That's
up.
up
up.
from a couple of
I
weeks
sold one at
ago,
150.
where it was
Yeah.
160.
I thought they were more than that.
I got a couple more of these.
Well, I'm just
No,
saying, these are
100
the only recent sales. 160 a couple of weeks ago, now 250 again. So they did
Imagine
not.
a 9/8.
Man,
Imagine a
Yes.
9/8.
No, yeah, I think it got almost up to 200 at one point, right? And then it's come back down, and then it went back up. Nice. That's just a raw, dude. That's a
just
raw
a raw.
magazine. Oh man,
9/8 would be like $500. 9/8 or $600. How much do you think it would be? It's a
9/8 of these are tough to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
were.
the
Yeah,
PX version, maybe
the
not.
magazine
Yeah,
grade.
it's PX too. So yeah.
But that's it. That's our little extra.
Good extra. That was a good extra.
That was our
That
good
was a
little
good one.
extra. So until next week, that was our 5 and 5.
That was a fun one, Pete.
I tried
That was
to
a good
A
one.
lot of those hit me right there, man. I'm telling you.
And
Some of those are just
That
like,
Dr.
I'm
Afro
gonna
book.
help you out. I know how you like 9/8 and not have to grade them, so I'm waiting till that book is down to about $42. I'm just gonna let you buy it for yourself.
yeah, well, you could just send it in and get it graded, and then
I'm not going to. I'm not going to waste money like other people did. That doesn't make any sense.
The wait
All
time.
right. I doubt Wayseeker would say that
No.
tagging me gets the second. You always think people are going to say stuff, and then I think you misinterpret when people are like, "Okay, yes, it's fine," and then
No,
you're
he's
like,
just hoping. He's hoping somebody else will love Plagueis as much as he does.
It's not like it's.
I know what it is, but that's the point.
his
That's
soulmate is out there somewhere.
All right.
happen
Wayseeker,
eventually.
say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Oh,
Hey,
he is
Good to be
What's
with
up?
you.
cool. He is coming to help us out because apparently only two of us could read a novel this week. It was a short week. I will give you that. It was short, but I want to cover it either way because there's some interesting stuff being said about it. And I guess everybody was sending me, not just Dom. Dom got the heat of it. Please, the week a novel comes out, don't send me any headlines or any spoilers or anything on it because I typically don't start reading
Well,
when
it
everybody
kind
else.
of really hit me
You can't
hard.
really blame me
knowing
because
that.
I forgot about this thing until Dom sent me exactly what he sent you, and I was like, "What the hell is this? I forgot all about this."
You had to hear the rant that I had in the comic store this week. They were all laughing over there too.
Oh, what?
I'm like, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
about this? About the
Yeah,
rumor?
yeah, I'm just
I
like,
told you it's not true though.
I know, but they just have to stop worrying about things. Disney has to take a back seat and not worry about that particular thing. Worry about
but
they're not.
worried.
sci-fi.
Hold
I don't
on,
think
hold on,
they
time
did.
out.
It's
Time out.
Can I read the
There's two
book?
people here. There's two people here who read the book. Let me tell you, and Wayseeker, I want to hear your opinion on it. It's Dom, and this is where we're going with it. That I read the article afterwards because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. The headline was something like, what was the headline? Wayseeker, do you guys? Does anybody remember the headline?
Yeah, the headline it was Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan is now bi.
right.
That was
That's not true.
It's not. It's and I did read the book.
True.
I read the clip
Well,
that it's based off of.
that was a clickbait headline.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
will tell you this:
absolutely.
that particular website that you linked is probably the worst website to pull any kind of information from.
But he was, but he wasn't the only one that said it. So I mean,
I know. I'm
I'd
just
ask-
saying, just don't ever believe anything you read on that
Here's the
particular
book real
website.
quickly.
Yeah, look.
So we all- Wait, how do we do this? Go this
But
side,
look what
right?
he looks like on the cover. They even made him.
What are you trying to do?
How do we just get this on the overlay? Can we get the overlay on the site so we can talk about the book and have it
Yeah.
on the site so people? But either
No,
way-
we would have had to have done that beforehand.
Sorry, I threw in overlays. Either way, so we read the
Zoom
book.
in and out.
Because
That
if you
wasn't-
throw something in overlay, it goes right in the middle.
Oh, that sucks. That was not the part that we were.
Well, you can't put
like-
it to the side and have the book on the
Well,
side.
he can do it in the background.
Yeah,
While
we
we're
could have
doing
done it
this.
if you would have told me before the show started. Sure.
Oh my god. Okay. So, anyways, there is two parts on it, right, Wayseeker? In about the middle, they have that little clip that they took out where you saw the image where there is a character who is either he is gay or bisexual. It first comes off as a joke. The guy says there's no other single people on this planet, and he's like, "I'll never know what it is like to kiss somebody." And then he goes, "Well, I guess Obi, you're here, so if you ever feel like kissing somebody, we can kiss to see how it works out." And then Obi-Wan, as you read it, plays as like has never thought in his life before about kissing anything because it's like priesthood.
He's
He's
a
going
Jedi.
into soul. Yeah. So I guess 3 people on the internet said that proves that he's a bisexual somehow. So, I mean, but that's people on the internet, like on Twitter, like they're just, yeah, fuck, you can say whatever you want on Twitter. And at the end of the book, there's a part where the guy makes a joke and he's like, "Hey," he goes, "Good, I'm getting off the planet finally. That means I can find somebody who's better looking than Obi-Wan to kiss," right? Is that what he says, basic or something? to
Yeah,
that
pretty
effect?
much. Yep.
But it pretty much means he was rejected by Obi-Wan to kiss him. So he's going to go someplace else, which if you've ever been hit on by, I don't know, anybody you didn't want to kiss, male, female, dogs, whatever, it's the fucking joke where like, if you don't hurt their feelings, they'll say something similar. That's how
I mean,
like,
the way I would describe this book, we'll talk about it a little bit more. It's like Obi-Wan goes on a spring break trip as a 12-year-old or whatever old he is.
somewhere around.
Rumspringer.
And
It's not wrong.
Oh.
Like,
he's facing a lot. Like he's afraid that he's never going to be accepted back. He
Right.
doesn't know what the future's going to hold. And he's going through like a little identity crisis.
and it kind of shows how isolated he was and like how focused he was, right? How focused he was in the temple and of the life of Jedi.
He's a
Like
little
it
one.
actually, it actually does show a lot like of his I actually thought it was interesting his relationship that young with Qui-Gon, and it shows the build up to when he actually accepts Qui-Gon as a leader and doesn't. Now remember, this is a young author book, so it's supposed to have those teenage, like young, like 10, 11, 12, 14-year-old. I mean, the words are this big and the pages, like it's 2 paragraphs per fucking page, guys. Like we're not writing real novels here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like it wasn't bad. I will say the most important thing probably happened in the first 2 chapters. They talked about the Ortolan species and said, yeah, they use their legs for everything. It's not hands, and it's most often considered hands. Those people that don't know what I'm talking about, that's the species Max Rebo is from.
Max Rebo,
and,
I know.
Yeah, and they just reiterated that, yeah, that's.
I turned my camera
actually,
off so you guys can see the book better, but yes, those are arms on my glass.
No, it's for Pete. They reiterated that for people like Pete.
I'm
that
just
do not
saying,
believe
it's on my glass.
Am I wrong, Seeker?
That's not the most important part of the book. No.
No, yes, this is the most important part of the book. Yeah, so like they started off really young, and he is there. Dooku comes in, for some reason drops it, and there's a, just like any teenager, there's a, it just happens to be what's Rodan that gives shit to Obi, like
Rodan.
Rodian.
Godzilla.
What's his name?
Rodian?
Wait,
Rodian.
Everybody bring it up.
What's his name?
I think everybody's frozen.
Is Marco broken up?
Everybody got frozen.
Yeah, Marco.
Yeah, it's Marco.
Yeah,
Marco.
For once, it's not me.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Am I back? Everybody froze
You're
out
back.
for a second. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, you're back. I went to no pictures so you guys could see the book down below clearer, not my face.
They were teasing him in there, and he was at the time he was having a little bit because Qui-Gon was a little outlandish, and it just so happens that Dooku shows up in the temple, and then he leaves. Right? It did leave it kind of upended. I thought that was a little weird. I did think it was weird that they just let him go on a ship and take off.
I'm a big fan of meatballs.
So am I. I love that movie.
Did you think that was weird too?
Star Wars
It seems like they didn't just let it. It seemed like Qui-Gon kind of coordinated it though at the end, right?
At the end, yeah, but in the beginning they were like, yeah, like it didn't. I think at the end, yes, because they were like, yeah, but in the beginning it's like he just took a ship and left. Like that didn't make sense. I just didn't like how they wrote that. Oh, I'm trying to get a hold of him, so now I'm just going to take off and steal a ship to get to that feeling. I guess that was what it was. I will say it was surprising. One of the characters that I really liked that they introduced was when you got the back and forth with him and Dex from the diner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you liked that part too. I thought it was pretty cool because they've referenced them before and they actually showed the budding of their relationship out there. I thought that was really good. I thought
they were
did a
pretty
great job.
chummy in Attack of the Clones, right?
Right, absolutely. But they met not on, I would say, the best terms. I don't know. Well, Wayseeker, what did you think about so he ends up taking the ship. He steals a ship from the temple, goes to a planet. And that planet is, go ahead, Wayseeker. You can
just to back up a little bit. Obi is kind of lost, right? At the beginning of the book.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. He's just started as a Padawan. All his Padawan friends have the masters that they want. And Obi has a master that he doesn't want. Like, he doesn't want Qui-Gon, and he thinks Qui-Gon doesn't want him. And so and his friends kind of play off of this a little bit and say, Qui-Gon didn't want you. Obi made Qui-Gon take you. Right?
No, Yoda
did. Yeah, Yoda. Qui-Gon didn't pick you. Yoda said, Qui-Gon, you got to take him. And your master is actually wanting to leave the order. So, like, his friends were, like, messing with him a little bit. Like, they made him eat, like, some crazy live squid and something like that too. So like,
the death squid,
yeah. Obi's like kind of like completely like losing like his identity and thinking about like, does he even belong here? Does anybody want him here? Does anybody care if he leaves? And so he's like, all my friends are going out on these missions and I want to do something cool too. I'm tired of meditating for 24 hours a day every day. I want to do something. And so that's kind of why he leaves on his own.
Yeah, I guess. I think it was a little far-fetched where he's like the top of class. He always follows the rules, and then he steals a plane. And I'm not sure that what do they call the robot? Was it Aces? Like
Aces is this.
Oh, that's so stupid. So it's an A6 something droid, and then we're going to change it to Aces. I was like, okay. You guys are just not even getting creative with the names anymore. That was a little bit of a letdown. But
So he goes to this planet because he's
Ooh,
following
Yeah,
Orla.
to the planet.
right?
Yeah, and what's his name?
He's like he realizes like when he's doing some meditation that there's this hidden planet that's connected to Orla.
And what's the other guy from the High Republic?
Yeah, and so he goes in the records and realizes this hidden planet hadn't been discovered and researched in 200 years. And Qui-Gon kind of perks up because Qui-Gon really seems interested in the Wayseekers, which I think is really fascinating, right? To me, I think Wayseekers are kind of important going forward, and they're going to try to link Qui-Gon to Wayseekers and some others to Wayseekers. But so Qui-Gon seemed really fascinated by this Orla character that nobody knew. So it shows you like Orla is not important going forward because like nobody in the temple remembered who Orla was. But Qui-Gon's like, ooh, what are these like I'm interested in these Wayseekers that aren't around anymore.
But I think that's because it shows Qui-Gon, like just because of what we know from Dooku and like that relationship, you know what I mean? It kind of shows you because with Sifo and everything else, like that was kind of it. Plus, the place where he's found this was in an old library that they now have converted to the Great Hall or something like that, right? And it was a crossover. But yeah, I think that's cool too. It's a very valid point that the High Republic stuff is kind of, they already see it as those people are kind of forgotten of. That's why we didn't hear from them recently. So
yeah,
You start
So they
saying
just
things like Great Hall, I start hearing Harry Potter again.
oh.
Damn.
So he ends up. So Qui-Gon says, "Yes, me and you are going to go to this planet. We'll check out what's going on there because it seems like it might be some mysterious value for it, or at least have some force on it." And then Obi tries to ring Qui-Gon, and he won't ring, and he won't ring. And as Wayseeker says, like he starts getting like almost like this panic thing, and then it's finally like, "Well, if my master doesn't want me, I'm just going to steal the plane and take off," and he does. So Obi and what Joe say? So the new armor suits in the relay race in the lake. Obi takes Qui-Gon out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways, okay. So now we're on the planet. Wayseeker, go ahead. Right?
So they get on this planet, and Obi first thinks it's desolate, and then a little bit later he runs into a group of kids that live by themselves. So, you know,
Lost Boys.
Yeah, kind of like that. But all these kids show what Obi believes is like force abilities. They can run as fast and jump as far and do crazy things like Obi can. And so Obi's like, maybe this is what's so special about this planet is all these people are force sensitive kids that live here, and that's why Orla found it so important. We later find out that that's not really the case.
So they have to run from the planet, though, because on the planet there are these teethy animals that look like cats, and they're trying to kill or eat them. There's little roly rocks that try to break their bones. Like, it's really jacked up. Like, the trees just start trying to shake them. What else happened? Whatever.
It's more like Battle Royale then.
Yeah, it's like Battle Royale. Yeah, absolutely. But they can get to the plane. They can get to the crashed plane, and when they're in the crashed plane, for some reason, they're safe there. I still don't understand why they're safe in the crashed plane, but they are.
Not that Lost Boys, Darth Lopez.
Can I say something real quick? Wasn't there a comic? Wasn't the Yoda on a planet where there's rock creatures that were with the Force? It was a bunch of kids that were on the planet too. It was a comic, one of the other story plots with
Yes,
Yoda.
there was. It was part of. I want to say it was part of the Obi-Wan journals or something.
Yeah, Obi-Wan journals. Yeah. So maybe he wrote that from that story.
I don't know. I have to go back.
Okay. So they get to this plane, and there's a girl that's in charge. Her and her brother. Well, her brother kind of does the stuff, and they're like, "Listen, we use the power. They call it the power, and the power gives us stuff, and we got to go on these raids, and we got to do all this stuff." And they, over time, Obi's kind of like he says, Obi's kind of like, "Oh, I might actually stay here." He starts to listen to these kids and kind of like, "Oh, they might have an idea of what's going on." He's interested in the power. He wants to know more about Orla. He eventually sees that there's this area which is like dug out where there was another plane crash, right? And it's really scarred and everything else. But he wants to help these kids out because he knows there's something for them, and he thinks even if Qui-Gon is going to leave with Dooku and become one of the Lost, because they don't even refer to it as Lost 20, they refer to it as the Lost, that he will then bring these kids back, and somehow that might prove that he can still be a Jedi or at least be a Padawan at this point. They make fun of him too a little bit. They give him a little bit of a hard time, but some of them are nice to him. It's all different species. It's crazy, and it's all kids. There's no adults. And as time goes by, he figures out that like the power sucks the life force out of people, and all the adults have died because of the power, right?
Yeah.
And he finds a temple, and in the temple, what was on the walls? Was there? It was the original people that landed there had crash land there.
Yep.
They crash land there, and they had created this temple, and they had done wall drawings. And at the end of the wall drawing, there's a hole that was a lightsaber mark, and that's where Orla had saved an old data chip. Only problem was he couldn't figure out what the data chip was, and he's got to go on a raid with these kids the next night. And what does he find on the raid, Wayseeker?
You mean, they were taking up all the orbs. They were trying to steal all the orbs, and they were afraid of this temple because the temple told everybody that if you take these orbs and you eat them, like it sucks the life out of the planet and sucks the life out of you, and you just pretty much you die at a very young age.
But their parents wouldn't let them know that because their parents felt like they were hooked. Once you do the power, it's like a drug, and it gave you all this power. Half the planet had left. It said like, we're done with this. The other half had stayed, but some crazy uncle got pulled off the planet, and he's coming back now. And he's coming back with Dex, and he's coming back with a whole mining core and all this other stuff. Like, it's crazy. The book gets a little crazy. I mean, it does.
I keep wanting to say this thing keeps. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Like Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. I mean, it's just kind of giving me that vibe for one. And then in a way, I kind of thought maybe you guys were going to describe it as kind of a, what is it, Lord of the Flies? But no, it didn't seem to go that direction.
No,
it is a little, but not really. Yeah,
not really. They're family. They don't want to turn on each other. They just aren't interested in anybody else.
They all have the conch.
They don't have to hurt each other. It's not like a competition like Lord of the Flies.
No, but then so the shapeshifter is dating the main girl, and eventually he kind of gets on Obi's side and is like, we should probably leave this planet. And they've got a couple of the the species that is the same as Plo Koon, and Plo Koon, was that right? No, I'm saying it. It's the wrong guy.
Fisto?
The aqua species, the Jedi Master that was the aqua species. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of it.
Kit Fisto.
Kit Fisto.
Yeah, Kit Fisto. So there's a couple there, and they're like living in barrels because they can't go into the water because all the planet will attack them. They find out that the pearls
living in barrels.
Yeah, shit. They find out that the pearls that they're stealing is actually the planet's essence, and they're eating the planet's essence, which is giving them the power. And just when they're starting to like turn to Obi's side, the uncle comes down and is like, "Nope, I'm here," and that's not it. Obi-Wan's trying to trick you because Jedi are bad, and they want all the power to themselves, and blah 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 blah. And he wants to take all the orbs off the planet, eat them up, and for the whole group that left the planet, kill them all. Like that's it. That's his scheme, and it doesn't go well. I mean, look, this is a YA novel, so like there's no rocket science behind it, right? So
sounds like a weird Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah, Dax, but they do a whole chapter, almost a little chapter, because they're all little chapters on Dax's and Obi's experiences back and forth and how they do get faith with each other, and that he tells them that they try to mind blow him up and all this other stuff. So that part was pretty cool. And then I guess, obviously it doesn't work well for the uncle. They get everybody off the planet. Man, Obi goes back, and Qui-Gon let him go, and that was Qui-Gon's whole plan. It's like, stop being a little baby, and now you can because Obi does meditate. At one point, Obi meditates in the book. And he's like, "Oh, meditation isn't so fucking bad, right?" Like we all saw it coming.
I have coffee.
He gets back to the base, and Qui-Gon's there and saying like, "Yeah, I mean, I kind of let you go, but we can't tell the council that." And is there anything else? I mean, that's the book, right, Wayseeker? I mean, that's how.
Yeah, I mean, there's a mysterious financer that finances this whole mining thing that wants to like have this power so they can eradicate the Jedi, because they feel like with this power they can take out the Jedi. So there's some sort of mysterious force that wants to, destroy all the Jedi with this power.
The Tag family, maybe? Do you think maybe that would be it? Like somebody like them, or do you think it's somebody else? Oh, I see. I never even thought about that deeply.
This takes place before Master and Apprentice, right? It seems like.
No, it's the Wayland Corporation from Aliens, right?
Yes,
No?
it does take. It is ahead of It's before Master and Apprentice. Yes,
Yeah.
It's
So,
like
so then by the end of this book, obviously, then knowing what we know about Master and Apprentice, even at the end of this book, Padawan, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's relationship is not completely firm, and everything's hunky-dory because we know it wasn't in Master and Apprentice. These differences continued.
It's better, like, but it's not good.
Yeah, he still doesn't think it's a great match. They do at the end. They do say that it's like, well, yeah, I guess I meditated, but like, I guess he's not going to abandon me. But he's not the guy I would have chosen to be my like. We're still not a good fit. Like, we're not a good match. So
there you go. Six.
I mean, it was insightful. I just wish. I guess I wish when they opened, and it's something that author said too to all the bisexual comments was like, there's no love story and there's no sexuality in this book because his first true love is Satine. I just wish, like, if we're gonna get some Obi stuff, and Satine story that we've been waiting for like, ever on, right? Like, I don't know. Did I freeze again?
For a second there, you kind of faded out for a second.
I don't know how. I don't know, but like, this was okay, but it was very. I mean, it is a youth reader, I guess, but like, did it add?
So I guess my question about the whole sexuality piece of it and what people were either misconstruing is, do you think the author did this on purpose, or was he was she completely like oblivious to how this might be?
I think she did it on purpose, but I think it was a way of really showing Obi was questioning every part of his identity because he really thought that his life at the temple might be over. And so what does that mean? Like, he's never even thought about even kissing somebody in his life because he's been so focused like on being the best. Mm-hmm. So if his life is behind him, like, he's not interested in that right now, but what does it mean for him going forward?
I think that's
this was more than just service to a particular
sexuality. Yes,
sexuality, like we've seen in some of the past novels with the clone and one of Padme's.
Yes,
this was more than that. This was more than just lip service.
Yes.
An over understanding of like, hey, he, like, as Wayseeker said, like, wait a minute. I've never even thought
about doing any of this
stuff. Like, what is like, it's so far out of left field. He's like kissing you, kissing her, kissing.
Well, that's what I took out of what Wayseeker just said, is this whole thing was part of his identity crisis, if we will. It wasn't just a drop. Yeah, I'm gonna drop this here. I'm gonna drop this there.
It's only two. It's literally like
a paragraph.
And two places. It's not like Ireland's book where, like, I feel like it's sometimes put into the center of things.
Yeah,
this is just a very casual part of what it would be to us, like a 12-year-old who's going through an identity crisis.
Yeah, it's not like Ireland where she stops the story, does like a chapter on some weird shit, and then like restarts the story, right?
Right.
Well, because it is like she does. She stops the story, pats herself on the back, then starts the story back up. No, this was like, and by the way, I think the writer is well known for that type of, like, not Ireland, but like, I think she's in that community. And even with being in that community, you wouldn't know unless you looked it up. And what she has said before is this book is not about.
So I guess what I'm glad to hear then, based on what you and Wayseeker are saying, is it was more than just what we got out of the Brotherhood novel, where they just kind of dropped this thing about a transsexual clone trooper, and you're kind of like, why did I need to know that? I would just kind of left field.
So then I think she did a really good job of readdressing it at the end, where it's like, I mean, I was just at a wedding like 2 weeks ago and got hit on by a gay male, and the same thing happened at the end. I was like, dude, look, man, I'm married happily, and even if not, that's just not my way. And the guy made a joke like, that's all right, I'll find somebody better looking, or like he was joking around with what he said at the end. And it's that stuff really happened. This stuff really happened. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff really happens. I think when she did at the end, when the guy's leaving the thing, going like, thank God, now there's more people, so I can go hit on somebody else besides Obi-Wan. It was like a thing with Obi-Wan going like, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, it wasn't a big deal.
Can I just say something?
Did you read the book?
All right. My thing
Don't
is
give me
that
a rumor.
a lot of these stories
Didn't read the
that we're
book.
doing today, they're shoehorning a lot of this stuff in it
But
because it's wait. Let me finish.
no, but what I want to say is, I don't think you were listening to them when they were explaining what it actually is.
What we said, yeah.
You're still going to comment on an
Better
article
be
headline
careful.
rather than
No,
the actual book.
Not the long line.
I'm just saying because you know what? Okay, if this, you know,
I know
out
what you're
there-
going to say. That's why I'm stopping you.
No, I'm not going to say anything bad. I'm just saying.
No.
Listen, I have no problem. Look, I'm not. Let me say honestly, I have no problem.
Not a mean
I
guy.
don't want to hear that either.
I have a problem with them talking about a lot of the sexuality that they in the stories, which makes no sense. Just give us the story. We don't need that.
As we said with Ireland,
that's what
Ireland,
Speaker's saying. This is part of the story. It's
part
not
of the
just
story.
a drop.
Yeah,
This
like
It's not
that.
just thrown
Ireland's-
out there to
when
feel
Ireland-
good about themselves.
Yeah, you missed that part. When Ireland, as we were saying, stops, does whatever she does, and then starts up again, or like with the clone or whatever, that's not what this was. This was literally part of, like we said, it's like an everyday type, okay, cool. And yeah, the last part was like, yeah, dude, obviously Obi's not interested. That was like the back part. Obi's saying pretty much, yo, dude, I'm not interested. And the guy comes back like, hey, man, yeah, it's all right. I'm getting off this planet. I'm gonna find somebody else to make out with, anyways, dude. And that was, I mean, it's realistic. So like, that's what it was.
The point is, it doesn't matter if it was a girl who hit on him.
Yeah,
the story
exactly.
plays out the same. Like,
Yeah, even if it was an ugly,
it
yeah,
doesn't matter. The whole point of it
yeah.
was somebody hit on him. He was like, I never even thought of that because I've been training to be a Jedi. Like,
And then was like, no, I'm gonna be a Jedi, so I'm not making out with anybody. And
And then he
okay.
wound up hooking up with Sadine.
Unless she's a queen, and if she's a queen of
Yeah.
this planet, then maybe I'll think
Well,
about it.
this is
Yeah,
Star Wars
exactly.
after all. It could have been an alien that has no sexual
I know, but
whatsoever. That
You know
is
what's funny?
like,
Here's the twist of Dom. Like
Hold on,
she
real
did
quick.
not want to touch that because she said his relationship with Satine is so valuable and so important that she's not going to erase that. She did a really good job with this book, not touching canon and not affecting anything that has come before. I think this is one of the better young adult books that I've read because
Ahsoka.
it's not like tier A is Lost Stars, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Tier B is Ahsoka, right?
Yeah.
This would be like tier C, right?
Yeah.
It's a great read. Like you can read it in 6 hours. You don't. It's not like a book where you like
I'll be right back.
are trudging through it and you don't want to read it, right? I had fun reading it. I didn't want to put the book like it wasn't like I wanted to
It's easy. Yeah,
put it down and come back to it like 2 weeks later, like some of the other books I read like the last couple.
You know what? All right. You know what? I'm glad that the way the story did turn out the way it is, but it's just what's
There's
happening.
nothing else to say though, Dom. After that, like we could,
you're
you know,
still being riled up by something that didn't happen.
Like I get hammered in the comment section every weekend, being told like how much I am negative and everything else. I give it people at their due, and I'll give it to them. This one, whatever that nonsense is, it has nothing to do with it. So at that point, the conversation's over. As he said, it was an easy read. It made sense. You've known I've killed Ireland over what she's
I know
done.
you've said things. You know, I was more worried about
it's
the fact-
due when you ruin a story or you try to pat yourself on the back. I'll tell you that, but that's out of pocket because she, as Wayseeker said, for who she was writing for and what she was, this is a good book. I mean, I wouldn't put Ahsoka at B tier, but you know, I would say that this is like middle.
You get to rank it in a few minutes once we get to it.
I'd say this is middle range type of book for what it is because like it obviously wasn't that bad. Now, is this a story that I want to hear of Obi-Wan? No, it's still not. I want the Satine story before this.
We'll probably get that eventually.
Did it add to canon, as Wayseeker said, without trying to spin some stuff around?
Anything,
it fit right in there. It fit in with Master and Apprentice. It fit. I mean, it's a lead up to Master and Apprentice. So if you like Master and Apprentice, which wasn't, I think everybody who read it will agree was a good book, right? Anybody have a problem with that book? I thought it was good. I mean, it's a lead into it. You should read this, and I didn't think it didn't take me 6 hours, but it's a good, easy read. And he's right. Like when I read it, I think I put it down for like an hour or two, went out to the boat for a couple hours, and came back in, finished it off. It's a good book, and you should read it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're fortunate that I had stepped away from the camera when Wayseeker mentioned it wasn't a book that he would read a little bit, sit down for a couple of weeks, and then maybe pick it back up. Because I would not have been able to stop myself from saying
you're about to get muted.
Non-Alliance. Toronto Lions.
Oh my god. So, yeah. Stop saying that, Jedi.
But I mean, for young adult book, this was one of the better young adult books.
Yeah, it's up there. It's good to see that. It's good to see that. Like, a High Republic had some good stuff in it, but the young readers, there definitely was slipping off on the young readers as far as quality was going. This is bringing it back up to the level of Johnson when she was writing Ahsoka and Lost Stars. Who did Lost Stars again? I can't remember who did that, but it's right up in those. Like, it's bringing the level back up to that type of writing, which is good to see. Claudia Gray, of course.
Yeah. And I hope Kirsten
Hey,
White.
JJ, you're still here. Go ahead
Claudia
and send me
Gray,
that credit.
right
I hope Kirsten White has a chance to write more young adult stuff because she did a good job.
She did a very good job. I mean, like, that's when you lose people like Chuck, like, you just hope they bring in more
Chuck.
people. I love Chuck. I do.
You
I
do.
think Chuck
Bring him up every time you can.
because he was really good. Like, him and Claudia are like they are the cornerstone of new canon. Like, they could write everything and it would just be like Chuck Wingo was the guy that
Aftermath.
did all the Aftermath books.
Oh, so he's the author of Aftermath.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to Aftermath right now, and I keep waiting for a character named Chuck. I'm like, where's this character named Chuck?
Like, where's this Chuck person?
Chuck.
No, it was just because
Chuck
it was
TV show. Remember the TV show?
well, if you're listening to
The
Aftermath,
Nerd.
you know, in the Aftermath, he puts so much in there. Like, it's crazy, very easy to screw it up and stop, start, and he somehow fluidly made that stuff work and added in characters and explained them like kind of how you want to. All right, but yeah, so I mean, overall, I definitely think it was a good book. It was worth picking up. I believe Wayseeker believes the same. And Wayseeker, you're sticking around for our ranking for the top 10, yes?
Yeah.
So this is the second book in the 3-book trilogy. Is it going to be another book?
This
Of
isn't
what?
a trilogy.
No.
Not a trilogy, but
This isn't a
Yeah,
second
Brotherhood.
book. No.
no. Okay.
No, I mean, they might do another OB book, but it's not. We're saying it's a lead up to it, but it's not an official lead up to it.
Okay.
I mean,
I think we'll get the Obi Satine story at some point.
when?
But I don't think it'll be a young adult story. I think it will be a
No. I think
They
it's gonna
won't-
be.
They won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope. Like, I'm not trying to hope. Like, I don't want to hear bedroom noises, but I hope it's like, kind of like, you know.
Do you want them to just pan camera off to the window?
No, I want it to be like a thriller, like a you know.
and the camera, and there's
going on.
3PO in the corner.
No. Little like CIA, FBI, like
3PO is standing there like
Russia
always.
type thing going
If
on there.
C3PO is not in a corner, it ain't
No
gonna be
agent,
worth it.
no agent, triple agent. I'm like, you guys are pervs. I'm talking about, like, you know,
No,
'cause
C3PO is a perv. We're not perv.
no, but I was saying, like, at the time they're on the different sides, right? She's a Mandalorian and he's the Jedi's. They're not exactly getting along. So it's like almost a Romeo and Juliet, but like with the, I don't know, Tempest.
As
or
they're
whatever.
getting amorous. Did 3PO say he was shutting down for the night?
No, I don't want
No.
to see. I don't want ball chicka bomb bomb. That's not what I'm saying. What I want to say is just like,
I'm
how
shutting
does that?
down.
He's the lamp in the corner.
You guys are the word.
C3PO will be brought back as the wedding planner. You know.
All right.
All
All right, guys. You've now ruined my fan fiction on Satine and
Hey, sometimes
C3PO will make them famous. They'll be all over the intra, whatever they call it.
We got to make a novel. The 3PO files.
we had a palette
Yeah,
cleanse.
where is BK? BK, I just gave BK like 10. I think Wayseeker might secretly be BK because I just gave BK a ton of ammunition and he's not here right now. So,
Yeah, it's true. Where is BK?
yeah, I don't know. Either way, pick it up though. Easy read. If you guys want to read something, there you go.
No, I'll
Yep,
probably
that'd be fun.
listen. I can't read. You say it'd take you less than 6 hours. It'll take me 6 months to read a book because I have the attention span of a gnat.
I wouldn't. Wayseeker, I don't know what the hours are on this, but I would assume that if you listen to it, it's probably 3 times as long than it is to.
I mean, I think you could read it, and I always take my time, but I think you could easily read it in 3.5 hours and get everything out of it.
Yeah, there wasn't much into it, so.
I don't even know if I could read the Watchmen trade paperback in 3.5 hours.
Really?
I'm telling you, my mind wanders. I read something, I go,
Get the Star Wars omnibus.
Piece of
and read all the
candy.
Books again.
ooh, piece of candy. And
All right. Well, we lost Jedi, but I think Wayseeker's going to hang around with us. Wayseeker, I really did appreciate it, man.
Jedi's great.
That was JJ.
There.
JJ fell off.
Yeah.
You want to stick around for the top 10 because I know you've read most of these books anyways.
Yep.
Maybe you can fill in for some of the stuff. What we did was we all threw, just off the top of our heads, 5 books right off the top of the head. If I say canon, 5 books,
7.5
5 books.
hours, by the way. Sorry.
What?
The audiobook of Padawan is 7.5 hours.
No,
7.5. So all right,
See?
do it at like 1 1/4 speed. It'll probably be around 6 hours.
Either way, so what we did is me, JJ, and Jedi on top of our head. We're like 5 canon books, go, just throw them out there, and then we'll see what overlaps and not. Straight it down to 4, and you got to pitch your 4 for the top 10. Just a rough list, because like when you start thinking of it, you'd probably just argue your own top 5. So instead, we just kind of did it, and we did trilogies. If it's a trilogy, we put the whole trilogy together, which you'll see in a little bit. And we did it color
The cool
coded.
thing about this is Wayseeker has no idea which books we picked, but he has to tell all the viewers about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? I have no idea.
Surprise.
He has no idea.
Right.
So
No
this is
idea what
great.
we got in store for you.
Okay.
Welcome to your first show. Here you go.
Yeah, here we go. All right. So Pete, do I have to hit the layovers?
You pick the book. You can pick the books. I organized them to go 1 for each of you, but JJ.
Well, we know where he's going. We know where he's going with this one. One of the books I said was Ahsoka, because I thought as far as the younger novels, what this did, and how some of the adaptation stuff came out of it. And at the time, I was just really thinking about at the time when Johnson wrote this book, I was like, who wrote this? Because it's good. You know what I mean? It was really good. We were in a break where we didn't get a lot of like Ahsoka wasn't really on everybody's mind at the time. And I've actually read
about time.
There
the
we go. The
love
box
chat
came
got
out
here.
finally.
I've actually read this book twice, and that's kind of how I ranked it, as like books I'd read again twice. And this is one I read twice. So I don't know where everybody else would have this book.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm sorry, but now they changed the story for the Caesar Mandalore, so they changed the book. They changed the ending plot, so the story is a little different.
What?
No.
Cartoon, the Clone Wars. They took that story, the Caesar Mandalore, from that. They changed it.
What?
It's one thing
They
they
changed the two sister characters is what
yeah,
I
the two
think.
sister characters used to be brother. Yes, they used to be brothers. They changed that.
They changed a lot, actually.
They did.
Dom's right. Changed a pretty fair
And the
amount.
rumor is they're changing more. So the Tales of the Jedi, that's one of the rumors.
That's
came
where the
out
rumor
this
is.
week.
They're changing more. Yeah.
But EK came out and said Dave approved it, and Dave wrote part of the book. So
Yeah.
he gave the script. So she's like, don't believe that, the rumor. So yeah.
Don't believe it. Either way, still like the book. Still think it's good. But it is kind of mid tier when you think about it, because of some of the other stuff that I know is going to be on this list. So I still have it probably at 5 or 6.
I wonder how much chat voting we're going to get on this one. I don't know how many other readers are out there. And since Waste Seekers with us, I don't know if we're going to
How many
get
other people read this youth title? I think people would. Apparently, people commented on it because they said, they changed some of the wording of how the Mandalorian thing, and in the Clone Wars, there is a little bit of changing, or at least liberties.
Didn't they changed the whole Rex inhibitor chip thing, didn't they? In season 7, that was in this book, and the way she hit herself changed completely. I think. Didn't it?
No, that wasn't. It was just a certain point of view on how she changed herself. What they didn't do is they didn't add in a big part of this book had to be where she went off planet for those years, and if you guys remember, she went off and she helped the family, and then she was like being a mechanic, and she ran through, came back. That was like 70 to 80% of the book.
Right.
That's not in anything. They never brought that back and never mentioned it. And then they changed around the two characters because she then did, when she went to the sub levels, it was a brother, and they turned those into females. And that little bit with Maul was just a different point of view. So they didn't really.
Different point of view is still changing it.
No, from a certain point of view, is not changing it. It was through the eyes of Ahsoka through one. It was through the eyes of Maul through the other one. That's what it was.
Okay.
I mean, that's what.
I don't know why you're saying it wasn't retconned, because a lot of this book was retconned.
Yep.
Dom, did you read the book?
I read part of it, but I know it's like I actually do it. I go to the synopsis, but reading what they had in the book to seeing the cartoon and the story they did change a lot. That's why
it's not a negative. I'm just saying a lot.
I know, but I after I watched the cartoon, I actually went back and read the book, and we could just disagree on it because like once
Because
again,
a lot of people did complain about it because the book was written and then they
Well,
go.
did they change the book at any point? Because I haven't read the book. Well, because I've listened to the audio book, and of course, you guys know my memory is not 100% ever, but I don't see any real conflicts between either the book and season 7 of Clone Wars.
that's what I'm saying. If it's a retcon, you would have seen conflict, and I agree. Either way, so where are we ranking this? Though, are we ranking this at 6, 5, 6? Where are we putting this?
It's still in my Audible library to listen to. So
I don't know what your list is, but
myself.
like I'd probably put this thing around 8 if
8?
all the books from canon that I think.
JJ, where do you got it?
I don't know. I can't remember our whole list here. What comes up? Probably a 7,
just go off
6
8,
or 7, 6 or 7 probably. Solid book. I mean,
yeah, put it at 6. Let's put it at 6 and see where it goes from there. Next up, go ahead, Jedi. I believe this is you, correct?
Oh my God, where do I start, man? What do you want me to say about this book?
Yellow is Jedi.
It introduces, well, I don't know if it introduces, but it's got two of the best characters in Star Wars in it. They have a romance. So you said we're not actually reviewing the book, right?
No,
so
no,
you don't
no.
want me to go into what
Just give me an overview. About. What you like, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good. It's exciting. I think it's well written. It's got Asajj Ventress. It's got Quinlan Voss. It's got Obi-Wan, who, without going into a review, if someone were to pick their characters and tell what is this story about, it's about Quinlan Voss and Asajj. I think you can make an argument that this is an Obi-Wan novel as well, but we'll say that once we ever actually do an in-depth review of this. It's just it's very good. It's exciting. It's well written. It's not a hard read.
This was like a different turn too. Like when we talk about like the underworld stuff and just like how the Jedi are a little bit different sometimes and bend the rules, like this showed it. So you're right. So this is where they were, although Obi-Wan was against it. So this is where the Jedi Council actually puts out a hit. Yeah.
They put a hit out on
it's basically Mace Windu.
It's basically Mace Windu.
Mace Windu puts out a hit. Yes.
Yeah.
But this is, I don't think I've ever heard
even though Obi-Wan is dead against it, they're like, well, you're going to be, even though he's against the whole thing, he's like, well, you're going to be Quinlan Voss's contact or whatever they call it. And,
handler.
Are we putting it at 1 for right now? Is that what everybody's doing?
1.
1, no.
You don't want to put it at 1 and move it down? Really?
I mean,
all right,
I know what's coming. I'm not going to put it at 1.
I agree. It's not my 1 either. I'd say 3, maybe.
Yeah,
you see what's
coming with 3.
It's not my 1, but I know my 1 is no one else's 1. So.
Yeah. Okay, where are we putting it? We got it set at level someplace.
I think
off of you guys, I'll say 2. Some of you guys said 1. Well, Mark, are you saying 1?
No, I was just how much
where we more like 3. So I can stick it at 2 and move it.
But of all the books, this is the one I do hope we do see on the screen. Like this was meant to be on the screen. Yes. And I think this one needs to be on the screen. Like usually I don't want books to go to the screen. I want them to be separate, but this one I want.
Man, this is one of the lost stories.
I agree with the White Speaker. More people need to know this story, and the only way that's going to happen is if they put it on the screen.
This is one of the scrap stories from the Clone Wars.
It is.
It should have been. It should have been one of the stories.
No, I'm glad it wasn't because I don't think this book would have been.
I don't think it would have done as well.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be a one-off episode. Like this book
for now.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to end up in the top 3 books? Maybe. It's got potential to be a top 3.
Yeah.
We have 12. So only 2 aren't making the list.
Yep. All right, JJ, give us the first or this second audiobook. The second audiobook.
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. So this is audio exclusive to Audible. I think it was exclusive to Audible. But now I think it's out in.
It is. I have it. I read it
out in printed form.
Yep.
Yeah. So as a script or whatever, I guess. But anyways, so basically, this book sums up a series of the comics, more or less. It's pretty much the same events. There's not much change.
Really?
A little bit add-on.
Do what?
There was a little bit
of filler.
A little bit added in. Nothing really changed, but it's told in a way that is for an audiobook. it's a full audio cast. So if you're listening to it as an audiobook, it's a great, I don't want to say read's not the right word, I guess narration. But the story's told really well and retold in a way that I guess it just clicks. Even if you've read I still found it interesting, and I still found the events fresh, even though I had read the comics. So,
did you see? I read the book. I didn't listen to it audibly, and it was more of a script. It was still good,
yeah,
but
I'm not a big fan of the way they put out I'd almost rather than have this like change it to like a novelization of the audiobook or something. The way they produce it as like a script is always weird to me.
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, I have it at 10 because that's how I absorbed it. So
You know what's funny about that book? It was controversial with that book. You know, they were saying that the writer hates Star Wars. Meanwhile, it was like Dr. Aphra saying about Luke that she hates Luke and Han Solo and all that stuff like that. And they were saying that the author hates all these characters. Meanwhile, it's the character that was talking about. You know, when this book first came out, it was funny.
And, I mean, for people that haven't read the comics, this is also a great introduction to the character of Aphra. I mean, it's her origin. Everything's there that you need to know.
Yeah.
Killer droids are in there. So
I mean, something. If you want to catch up on Aphra, it's a perfect way to
good introduction.
Yeah, it's a good introduction to do it.
All right.
Where do you guys have it?
It's like I don't know. It's probably not the greatest book, and like I said, not being in like a proper print form really kind of hurts it. So probably like a 7 or an 8, maybe an 8.
I haven't read it, but the way it's been described, I think I would like it. So I'm good with a 7. Below.
Wait, did you listen to or read it? Did you?
I read it. I have an extra copy, Jedi. I actually ordered 2, so I can send you an extra book copy.
He doesn't read it.
I don't know how to read. I have to listen to it.
it's a weird read.
To read.
I would
phonics.
recommend listening to it because I didn't really like reading it.
Yeah. I think it works much better as a listen.
So, like for me, because I read it, it's probably like a 9.
Yeah, let's put it at 8. Put it at 8, and let's see where it goes from there. Might be a drop. All right, next up goes.
That's borderline.
Jedi Fallen Stars.
So one of the reasons I picked this one, and I remember when we actually did this review because it wasn't that long ago. A lot of, I'll say you guys, the panel, I don't think was that crazy about this book.
I didn't finish it.
I
still haven't finished it.
Well, I liked it for personal reasons, which is why I picked it. It's the end of the Phase 1 novels, right? Or at least, and the book. By the time I listened to this book, I knew everybody's name pretty much. That was a good thing, and I just thought this book was pretty. It kind of kept you on edge because it's several. I think at least 3 characters in this book. You were like, did they just kill this character off?
Yeah,
did they just kill this character off? You know, and these were characters that we've become to be fond of through reading the books and the comics. And I was like, did they just kill that character off? Well, it comes to find out one of the characters did actually get killed off, we're pretty sure. And which is kind of a unique spin on a Star Wars story that they're actually going to kill off a character like this. And in doing so, I think, without knowing the future, could be the catalyst for some Jedis going to the dark side, possibly. That's just me.
Well,
So that's why I picked it. I thought there was a lot going on in this book, and the fact that they were okay with making it sad. It didn't have to have that happy ending. I appreciate it.
I thought the first novel was the best of the High Republic novel, but this was a close second. With that being said, the highest I'd put this book is at 5 because I know it's coming up and it's going to get moved anyways.
This isn't my favorite book of my 5 either, but yeah.
I hated this book. I said that in chat. I hated this book.
I remember somebody
D- at best for me. Like, I think I rated it at 1.5 in chat. Like,
you were not happy with that book.
I just feel like there's so many things that happened in this book that regressed characters. The biggest one was the Elzar man. Like, we had this whole trying to redeem him from the previous book, and just falls back with this random killing of 2 people by accident. I don't know. I just felt like
Yeah.
This book did not progress characters. And I didn't mind them killing characters. I thought that was fine, even if they killed my favorite character. But
see, that's why I always thought you were just butthurt because they killed your favorite.
No,
character.
I mean I don't mind that. And it was just so weird, like the Padawans were like so much better in this book than the Masters. Like every time that something bad happened, the Padawans saved it, and the Masters were like completely clueless. There was I had just had some issues. I would put this thing at 10 to start with.
Wow. JJ, Dom, anybody on opinion on that?
I'm kind of with Wayseeker a little bit. Like I liked the book for the most part, but I had huge negatives with the way the story fit for one.
Mhm.
And I'm like Wayseeker. I don't mind them killing off characters, but like basically like if you're watching a TV show, right, or a movie, and the character gets killed off screen, you get a little bit pissed because you've invested, the last year reading about this character and everything else. And that happened like 2 or 3 times in this book. So,
Do you think that's going to be an ongoing problem? I mean, because like a lot of these characters have to die off, right? And they have so many moving pieces with the story because nobody's like even in the genre of novels. If you're writing the adult novels or if you're writing the young novels, you're not the only one doing it. Do you see this as an ongoing problem for the property?
Yes and no. I think there's simply better ways they could have done it than they did it in this book. Like, devote like a chapter to that character's death or something. Not like in this book, a couple characters, like they just basically find them dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
If they did like a round robin, kind of like a Game of Thrones type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't even get like a quarter of a chapter about how the character died.
Yeah.
So
What Game of Thrones?
You see,
Game of Thrones, they
JJ is
kill
actually
people.
right.
They tell you they killed them.
Yeah, but how they sectioned it up, like you follow a character for a little bit and then.
Well, they were also having to kind of walk a fine line because the comics were kind of going along the same storyline too, right?
Yeah.
So,
Dom, what did you think?
No, and I was saying the thing is I didn't read the book, but I understand one thing that in the novels, new novels, a lot more people aren't going to like understand like certain killing off the characters in the novel itself. The comic books will be there to help that, and they'll show it in the comic how that person died. And like I said, I haven't read it, but the people who have read it, like you guys, are saying that it was pretty good, but there are things in the books that a lot of people who.
Yeah, Wayseeker is not saying that. Wayseeker is saying this is dog shit. JJ, where do you have it at?
For
Like
my
7?
part, like I almost want to put it at the 8 and move the Afro book up, but rather than move stuff around, I say just stick it at 9 for now.
well, we've only got one person in chat, and that's a Wookiee. That looks like they've read this. That I
there's
can
2.
see.
Yeah,
Well,
Is there another one?
and Sticks.
7.
Sticks says 5
Okay,
or 6.
6 read it. Yeah, so Sticks
have
at 5
7
is
is probably
big.
fair.
Wookiee's at 7, so maybe 7.
Like I said, no higher than 5. I think 7's an okay spot.
Do you think it's better? This is the question. Again, I only got through about a third of it, and then you guys thankfully told me that it wasn't great, or how the explanation was going wasn't great. So I never went back.
The only
It wasn't that
problem is I
interesting.
read the Afro book.
I was grinding to get to
As
that.
Wayseeker says, it's a tough read. Like it is scripted, it's a really tough read. So
But
unless
is
we
it
do
better
move
than
Afro,
Afro?
I actually don't think that it's a bad thing if we move Afro someplace, either up or down. But yeah, I don't know.
That's the question for you guys. Better than Afro or worse than Afro? It's 7 or 9.
In my opinion, better, but
It's
Astro
worse.
likes it.
There's
Afro
no
is
doubt about
better
it.
in my opinion. But again, I listened to it versus reading it, so it's a hard.
Okay, so put it at 9 then. Okay, put it at 6. Okay, put it in 7. So we got it at 7 now. Astro came through. It's at 7. That's how it goes. We got enough votes. All right.
Oh yeah, these
Top 3 dead or alive. I mean, aftermath.
I still think it's Dre.
Yeah.
Chuck, there's Chuck. Okay, now I see Chuck.
Yes. It's all over the fucking book.
I'm reading the audio. I mean, I'm reading the audiobook. I got the audiobook. I don't have it covered.
I really do
When
think
does this Chuck guy show up?
I think if Chuck, if they didn't fire him, I actually do think they might. I think Star Wars, and maybe it's just a little optimism, but I think the sequels would have taken a little bit, just a small different direction for certain things because of what was going on with Emperor's End.
I think a lot of that's optimism.
I think that's
Yeah, I
optimism.
think
I think
you're
it's
really
strong
hoping
optimism.
now.
I don't think that would have mattered.
maybe it's wishful thinking, but
I think
I
the story group was trying to do everything it could to keep things on track, and yeah, the writers and the director were like, I don't care.
They introduced Cobb
I don't
Vanth.
care. I'm making a new Hope again.
Yeah, just Cobb Vanth there. Yeah. And
Cobb
that
Vanth.
they kind of retconned that a little bit, I guess, or a certain point of view did, whatever.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Thanks for clarifying Darth Lopez, because for a minute there, I didn't know if you were talking about a book or the fast food that you guys are talking about.
We already ranked fast food, which Lopez apparently forgot when we did do rank fast food on Tax Show, apparently. So whatever.
But he's saying Aftermath is number one.
It's good. I mean, it has. I thought. Yeah. Well, it's the only ones you read. Well, that's good.
Credit for. I mean, this had to be a tough job on the part of the author to basically be handed a trilogy to create.
Yeah.
With basically, I wouldn't say all original characters, but
there's a lot
more original than a lot of things you get Star Wars.
Yeah.
And to make it work in new canon at this time was going to be tough. He did it. It did it well.
Yeah, he did it really well. And there's a lot of moving pieces in that. Like, I mean, I've read. That's another one where I've read through them again. I just like at the time or whatever. And no, it was like you got to think it was this and Fallen Stars were coming out around the same time, and both were just really fucking good.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, for me in this one, like I was telling you guys, I started reading this one after Marco brought it up the week before last when we were talking about that other novel.
Or every other week.
I am enjoying this one. I'm on the first one, and as in any first piece of a trilogy, there's a lot of character introduction, a lot of this other stuff. So that's kind of a lot to take in. At the same time, I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of looking forward to where it's going in the other two. Got introduced to Mr. Bones, who I'd heard you guys talk about, but I didn't know who it was.
Dope. I mean, think about this. He's got Cobb Vanth. He's got Mr. Bones, which is another dope fucking ass character.
And you don't have to wait for Chuck anymore.
There you go. No, I'm not waiting for Chuck at every breath. No.
Yeah, you're not waiting for Chuck at every breath.
They're kind of like either think Supernatural or the TV show Chuck. You say Chuck.
Both good shows.
You know what? Maybe I will rank it one, and you want to know why? Because he started off good, he hit the middle, and then the one thing that we always have problems is sticking the landing. He sticks the landing in the third book. So, like, I mean,
once again, I'm at your guys' mercy. They're in my audio library. I just got to get to them. I guess running the deck.
Well, does anybody have a problem with me putting it as one right now?
I think it will end up at 3, but I think it's better than Dark Disciple for me. It's great. I mean, how they narrate the end of the beginning, at the end of the Empire, and what happens, how Chuck brings in characters from other novels like Ray Sloan.
They got other people doing it, Mark.
Does a really good job developing that character. Like, I'm waiting for Ray Sloan to come into, the world that we have.
Right.
Things like that, and it needs to, based on how important Ray Sloan, is in that time period.
And there was that secret weapons based on Jakku that would actually have made sense for them, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't that the Nick Mayfield story comes out of Aftermath? Like a little bit of his backstory?
Yeah.
To connect it to those non-novel readers who just watch the television shows.
There's a lot of
loop you in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for a guy that they like, the way they got rid of him, they sure do use a lot of his shit. I mean, he used a lot of his shit. Well, and it usually stuff that hits. So
that's the problem with writing under contract. It's not his anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. But so you said you do have a problem with us temporarily putting it at 1, JJ?
I think it's more of a 2 or a 3 book. I think it's more of a 3. But you can put it at 1, but it's going to get moved. But yeah.
Well, if things get moved, things get moved. The question when you figure this in, better or worse than Dark Disciple?
I like Dark Disciple a little bit better, but
I think because it's the trilogy, because you get the trilogy, and so much has come out of it.
All right, so there's one for each.
Wayseeker said 1 for now too, and
Wayseeker, you got 1
for now.
For now.
Yeah, put in 1 for now. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just for now.
Let's see where it goes. I like this book. Who's this?
I like this battle.
JJ.
Yeah.
JJ.
Video game book. Sort of.
Yeah, sort of, but not really. But sort of, but kind of really good too.
Yeah, this was surprisingly good. Same author as Dark Disciple.
Yep.
But I don't. I mean,
and grittiness. Like this is another book that had a lot. I'm sorry. Go ahead, JJ.
well, I was gonna say this is like the side of war that you don't see so much in Star Wars. I mean, like we think of like the High Republic books, for instance, where it was all about the Jedi. You really didn't see like. Of course, that's more of a time of peace, but you didn't see like that grittiness of war type of feel to it. This book has that, with a whole bunch of other stuff built in, and a great character development in this book too. I mean, for something that came out of, I had low expectations for this book going in, given that it was based on Battlefront 2, which was like a EA cash grab for a game when it came out. But it ended up being really good. It ended up having great character depth to it.
Dude, and actually, you know what? Speaking about one of the things that Dom brought up earlier about how they did introduce like personal relationships into a book, this was done just as well as was done with the Padawan book. Like it made sense going through this book too. A lot of stuff they didn't hear, and I actually wanted a second version of this, and they never gave us any more.
I actually liked this book myself a lot too. I actually read this one because I like the gameplay, that the storyline with the gameplay where
was cool. Yeah.
Luke got the compass and Luke was going on the missions and part of the Inferno Squad was there. They became good, after seeing the Death Star, the second Death Star get destroyed, which is really good.
Were there any micro purchases in the book? Thank God there wasn't, because there's a lot of them in the game.
Yes, the bookmark is an extra 10 cents. For you can get skins for it for an extra 25 cents a piece.
And I like her character. I want her to bring her back. I want them to bring her back.
Are we going? It's a top 5, right? We're putting in top 5.
I'm comfortable. I mean, it's probably with what we got on there now. 5 is probably good. Like I'm more comfortable probably putting it at like 6 in the end, but we'll see.
I think it's going to be at 6 at the end. But I think does anybody have a problem with it at 5? Right now?
Better than Ahsoka is the question.
It's better than Ahsoka. I'd put
in
it
my opinion. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next up we've got Rebel Rising.
This was one that kind of
way to just tee Jedi off with the
we just set it up.
Well, let me tell you why I picked this one. And I mean, this one, to be honest, this one was on the cutting edge. It could have likely been this or another one, and this one I decided to go with because I like that it told us stuff about Jen that we didn't know already, about her backstory, her time with Saul, him training her, raising her, basically being the father figure that she lost. And I like books that mesh well with things that we already know are going to happen in the future. And I thought this book kind of meshed well with Rogue One, the beginning of Rogue One. Maybe not perfectly, but I thought it kind of meshed well with where Rogue One kicked off. So that's why I picked. I like books or films or anything that meshes well with the beginning and end of something that we already know about.
So it ties in, but expands and stays within the guardrails of what you've seen before.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I picked it. I enjoyed it. It was not my favorite one I've ever listened to, but I enjoyed it. I thought it's not the worst one I've listened to. You guys know that.
Wayseeker, what you got on that one?
Since I didn't like Fallen Star and didn't like Afro, I'd put it at 7 on this list.
So bump the other two down. Okay. Yep. What about you, JJ?
It's pretty fair. It's probably better. Actually, it's probably better than both. I would say 7, maybe 8, but 7. I agree with Jedi's point that it does tie in very well. I didn't find it a very exciting read. I don't know if it's because I already kind of knew the characters when I read it or something, but it does.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of action there.
Yeah.
Well, the other problem I think I have with this book is like after Lost Stars, like you set a bar so high.
We didn't get to that one yet.
I know, but I'm just saying, like it's up. But you got to. I mean, when you think about them, like you have to think about them together, right? Or no?
Lost Stars being
Lost Stars being the novel Lost Stars?
No, what was the one that they did before? What was the one that they did? Yeah, right. What was the
one about Kanan and Hera?
No, what was the prequel to the movie? Wasn't that Lost Stars? What was the prequel to the movie?
No, this one.
This was the prequel to the movie.
This is when she was a little kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's her growing up, yeah.
It was from when she was a kid through her time
Yeah,
with
it's
Saul.
with
It's like
Saul
her
Guerrero.
origin story more. So
Are you thinking of Catalyst? Are you thinking of Catalyst?
Catalyst. That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah, this is better than Catalyst by far.
Yeah, this is way better than Catalyst.
You thought so? I thought Catalyst was good. All right.
Well, you didn't put it on the list.
Well, yeah, it doesn't, I didn't put Rebel Rising on the list fucking either.
You didn't put Tarkin on the list.
I know, I like Tarkin too. Because you just had to go 5 off the dome. It was 5 off the dome. I could have made the whole list myself. The point was to have everybody put something in there, man.
I really... Yeah,
Except me, because I don't read.
Okay, go ahead. So where do you guys put this? Go ahead.
They got it at 7.
I would still agree.
JJ was
7's a good
thinking
spot.
8.
Yeah, 7's a good spot for it. I'd agree. Yeah. Catalyst.
Wayseeker said 7.
Yeah,
I didn't
agree.
hear where Jedi wanted.
I know.
it,
I didn't even put
Dom,
Bloodline
I don't
in.
know if you read it or not.
No, I'm good with 7. Again, this was at the bottom of my 5. It could have fallen off, but it didn't. I left it in.
I'll be honest. There's a few that I like. I really wanted to put on my list of 5, but I didn't want like. There's like 4 Claudia Gray books that I probably could have put there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be all Claudia Gray books.
The problem is we had to come up with a list of 5, and when it was Bloodline, I was like, I can't put Bloodline at 4. I can't put Bloodline at 5 because it's too high of a book for that. And then I was like,
already had Claudia Gray, and I was like, no.
Yeah. We try to split it up a little bit. But you guys give us a list, and we'll re-rank them. We're going to do a legacy list next anyway, so. All right. Let's go with the next book, which is is this me? Yeah, because I tied on this one.
You got red.
Yeah, which is Jedi Lost, which I at first was like, I don't know.
Wait, before you start, it's not like 6 seconds after audio or read it.
I'm going to tell the story. So when I was at Celebration, my first interaction with Kevin Scott was, hey, because we were at the thing, he's like, you seem to be talking to everybody, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, yeah, you're Kevin Scott. I was like, when's the book coming out? And he's like, well, it is on audio. I said, no, the actual book, because I don't do audio. Yeah, but we're trying to do this audio thing. And I was like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but when's the actual book coming out? I don't care you're trying to do this audio thing. I want to know when the book's coming out. And he's like, well, I was like, well, does that mean 6 months or a year? And he's like, well, we're really trying to. I go, so okay, good, but like, okay, it will be coming out because they were trying to not tell you that it was going to come out. And
well, so you go by the audio.
They want to sell the audiobook.
Yeah. So
pressure the man.
No, I know, but I was like, okay. So I was kind of disappointed because he just wouldn't spill the beans, even though he kind of did. But then I read the book, and I was, if you've ever met him, he's an awkward guy. So I was kind of like, what is this guy even going to write, and why does he keep telling me in some weird?
I like him. I only met him on the internet, but
I know. In some weird accent with some guy telling you, no, just audio. And I was like, I speak English just like you. I understand you're saying audio. Either way, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually like it because they got into the lost versions of it, right? You got a little bit in there. It kind of is a good thing with Dark Disciple because it does show how how Ventress goes to figure out his background, and they give you these parts of Sifo Dyas who we've heard about forever, but we never really got much about it, right? Like, did he die on the planet? Was that actually him? What's going on? Who the heck is he? And you got to see these little intakes in there, and you kind of got to see Dooku as a Jedi, and you got to see maybe some of the stuff that turned him to be one of the Lost. And I thought I was a fan. After this book, I was like, okay, what is he doing? Oh, he's writing Halloween comics. I'll be buying those too then, because I thought the book was that good.
Well, and to me, this was a great illustration of, I know it's the Lost 20, which introduces a great concept there, but it's also the illustration of like how some Jedi become disillusioned with the Order.
Not just one in this book, by the way.
No, no, as in more than once.
Yeah, it's more than one. Yeah.
And you get backstory on a lot. I mean, besides just Dooku, everybody's like, well, it's Dooku origin story, which is true in a way, but it's, there's a lot of backstory on Ventress in this book.
There's a huge bunch on Ventress, and you, like I said, and then you get that big piece of Sifo in there too. So, I mean, it's top 5, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What do you got, Wayseeker?
So, it's hard. I think I put it right with Dark Disciple. I don't know how to separate the two. Dark Disciple was a better story. Jedi Lost is probably more important to the mythology of Star Wars. So I would rank them equal. Like I don't think I could say which one's better or worse. They're just right there.
I mean, what, 5 years later, they're still tying stuff back into this book right now. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got to go. So, are we putting it at 2? Is that where we're putting this? Or are we putting it?
If you want to go off of that, again,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to it yet. But
Did you actually wait?
if you want to give it that tiebreaker, if Wayseeker's saying about
you never really
equal-
answered the question, Marco. Did you actually read the version of the book, or did you?
No, I read it. No, I read it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, read it.
So this
I
book,
didn't do that. The first audiobook I ever listened to, hold on real quickly, was JJ sent me free audio credits, and I listened to the book that way. That's the first time I ever
just
listened.
free. Only time you can get it for free.
Yeah, only time I get it.
The only audiobook I've ever listened to is Tempest Runner. I read this one as well.
Okay. What were you saying, Jedi?
No, I'll say this book was on my top 5 too. This is one of the 2, I think, books that we both shared as far as in our top 5 books. So I personally, I like this book because of everything. You know, I'd be echoing everything a lot of you guys have already said. This book just has some interesting things in it that I just found interesting, and I'll just bring one up because people don't talk about it, but you see at least, unless I'm seeing things that aren't there in a lot of other Star Wars, you always see a lot of the Jedi will have these tightly wrapped straps around them, around either their arms or their legs, and this is kind of explained in this book, of why they do that, which I thought was interesting. So there's just things different things in this book you can take away. I would not put it above Dark Disciples. That's how much I like Dark Disciples, but I wouldn't be against a 3.
Plus, you get the little Harry Potter type mystery of the vault and Claire's Terradine and everything
That
else.
all things cool as shit. Yeah,
you get the history of the
Harry
Jedi
Potter
tree,
again.
right?
Yeah.
The Jedi tree that comes up in the comics and ties back to Legends. There's so much in this book that's just so great.
So are we jumping over Jedi and putting it in 2?
No, I'm fine with 3. I'm fine with 2. Either of them fine with me.
JJ, where are you putting it?
I'm kind of the same way. I listen to it in audio format, and it's really great in audio format. It's full cast audio.
We got to put it someplace. I have it tied with Dark Disciples, so
it's so tough to separate out. I almost put it just a barely super tiny notch above Dark Disciple, maybe. But I don't know.
I can do that. Put in 2. Put Disciples down to 3. Speaking of this, Sam, we might see Sam return to the channel. I don't know. Just saying, maybe. Mike, rumor is. Let's speak of rumors. All right, put it in 2. Rumor has it something might be coming, especially this is coming on Saturday. Maybe we don't know.
Maybe.
All right. Well, Light of the
read
Jedi.
this one.
All right.
Do you want to take it, Pete?
No, but I did listen to this one. I like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
All right.
Geode is an awesome character.
He's not this book.
He's not in this book.
I know. But
well, this is the.
I was on a roll.
But it introduces one of our other favorite characters.
Yes, it's
Porter.
Under Siege Porter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do like Porter. And
I put this one up.
What's the dude with the dog with the ember with the
Bell?
Bell.
Yeah.
I like Bell.
But I put this one up as to me, Charles Soule probably had the toughest job being the first one out the gate.
Did.
And this is the book that introduces you to, I don't know, probably 60% of the characters we see going forward in the High Republic. So I don't know. I wanted to put Into the Dark on there, but when I thought about it, if I'm putting up a High Republic book, I really enjoyed this one, and it was probably the toughest job being the first, with adding all the new characters and all the backstory of that era and everything else in there. So I went with his book, and
this is where I'll give Dom, who stepped away for a minute, but Dom the do of stuff when he talks about it. But there was at the preference of seeing some of the art, including when I'm looking at the front of this book, there's a lot of hate going into what are these characters going to look like? How are they going to act? And all that nonsense that the usual trolls do. And I think he did a very good job. Right, Dom, there's a lot of hate going into this book with all the trolls. And I think Soule did a good job of just sticking to explaining characters and giving them depth, and that is hard to do. So.
Well, another reason I put it up there was not so much the Jedi part of it, but it also introduces what's probably been one of the better villains we've seen in the last half a decade in Star Wars. And Ro.
So. Yeah, Ro's really good.
Yeah, but Avar Kriss didn't have her little tiara thing in the Kylo Ren preview, so Jedi doesn't like her.
And what I've read about her, I enjoyed it, but I understand where you guys are coming from with Avar Kriss. But
I missed what you were saying, but I heard enough to know that I don't.
Yeah, I was just talking about her tiara didn't show up in
Yeah.
the hologram.
Yeah.
In Kylo Ren 4.
Okay. But is it better than Battlefield? It might be.
I
So
still
don't
can't
know.
rank it because I didn't read the other books. So I leave
It's
it
a
to
book
you.
I
Phil.
loved the first time I read it, and I don't like it as much now because Avar Chris just her story went nowhere. Like
It did.
the story within here was really great.
Mhm.
But like this is the first 120 pages are like the best Avar Chris story that we got, and after that it's just completely went downhill. And that's one of the issues I have with this book. But I mean, it does introduce other characters really well, like Porter and Bell, and Loden. There were parts of it
Loden,
that I
great
think
story.
aged really well, and there's parts of it that didn't age as well as it progressed. I think I'd put it at 6.
Yeah, I don't think 6 is a bad place because I think you're right. I think Porter and some of the people we're going to see in section 2 and what happened to like Loden. I think this book made you feel for it, right? But like,
Yeah.
After reading this book, I wasn't so high on Chris. I was like, okay.
You kind of
And
hope that she would have went like Seagal in Executive Decision, and like she just would have been offed early on. But
and then even like the man in like the whole the Try relationship was kind of janky in this book, and they kind of kept messing it up and back and forth later on. So I think 6 is good. We can do. Anybody disagree with 6?
That's fair.
bump them all down.
Yeah, fair.
I'm good.
I fear my Afro book's going to get pushed
Oh,
off the
Astro
list.
does 4, but what's that?
So my poor Afro book's going to end up off this list.
Yeah. Okay, Jedi. We got the Padme trilogy.
You guys know that I really love this trilogy, especially the first 2 novels in this trilogy. This is one of the when I started reading Star Wars novels. This was one of the first ones that I read. Don't ask me why. I don't know why, but
It seems like the most weird pick for you to start off at too.
Yeah, big Natalie Portman fan.
well, I think again, I'm going to go back to what I appreciate in novels, and that is the way it had excitement. It had a it had an origin story for Padme, but again, I'll say this. I said it earlier. I like when stories mesh well and better explain things that we already know. And when I read Queen's Peril, and then I went back and watched episode 1 of Star Wars movie, I was like, wow, this book does such a great job of explaining things in the movie that you were kind of like scratching your head about when you walked out of the theater, maybe. So I appreciated that. Again, it's not a hard. They do need a C-3PO novel, although C-3PO in a lot of the novels in a corner you didn't see him. But I don't know. I just like this movie. I don't expect other people to like this movie. This trilogy as much as I do. But I think again, if you haven't done it, if you haven't read this book and went back and watched Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're doing yourself a disservice because I think it really helps fill in some gaps in Phantom Menace. That's all.
Go ahead, JJ. Tell us about Sabe.
And Sabe, yeah, don't forget Sabe. How did I leave out Sabe? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I honestly did try with this trilogy. I downloaded it as an audiobook, but I couldn't. I dropped off through the first book. I didn't even make it through the first one all the way. So. Yeah. I'm not saying it was bad. It just wasn't my speed, so to speak. So I'm probably not the proper person to give a total opinion on it.
So I guess I am, because I've read all 3 books.
Self-appointed ruler of all.
I guess I am because I read all 3 books. So what I'll say is like it was interesting. Like they weren't great by any means. They're kind of like watching the History Channel, right? You're like, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I can see it. All right. I mean, the last book there's a couple things in there where you're like, this is crazy shit. But like, it was just like, okay, like it's okay. It was just okay.
Yeah, it didn't expand the story at all, really, but I think it filled in some gaps.
Okay. I mean, I have it at I mean, I might put it at 9. I could be convinced to put the trilogy at 9. Am I like, hey, these are most like have to reads? No, but like if you're not reading anything else, you can read them.
Dom, I'm assuming you didn't read these, so I'm gonna go to Wayseeker.
Yeah. So I think the first book, Jedi, is my second favorite young adult book. Better than Ahsoka.
Really?
So like if you just put the first book on there, it would be the 7. But the third book is so bad that really makes it below. And so I think I would go 9.
Yeah.
But I love the first book. And I think the first
second
book
book wasn't bad though either. That's what I'm saying. Like when I get Aftermath, I'm like, oh, they nailed all 3. And how to agree with you, like first book good, second book okay. I can understand. Third book though.
Yeah, so
maybe I made a mistake, Pete, of asking you to include the trilogy. Maybe
I think
Jedi did just have the one.
Just
and
put
then,
the first book in there, it would be above Ahsoka for me. I would rate that as the second best young adult. Ahsoka's the third best young adult.
I would disagree with that, but not by much.
Personally,
It doesn't have a
for
first
the
appearance of a
trilogy,
character.
It goes 9 for me.
Sabe, yeah.
No, that's Sabe.
So I'm going to throw my vote in there and hope to get it above. What is it? Rising Star, the other one that I threw in there at an 8, just because I like it.
Jedi doesn't want all the yellows on the bottom.
That last book, did that last book had some fucking nonsense in it? Actually, everything Dom was talking about earlier, that last book had that bullshit.
So is it a 9 or a 10?
Yeah, it might be 10-ish.
The first book is just so good. I think the first book is so good that it just.
I don't know.
Law of averages.
Jedi just talked me down to a 10. He was trying to raise him up to 8. He just talked me down to a 10 on this. I don't know, man.
It's only 33% of the story.
Score.
But the chat for some reason likes the way Natalie Portman, so she gets a 9, I guess.
What?
How she looks. Okay, that's the most ridiculous
You could also
ranking
do
I've
Keira
ever.
Knightley for Sabe.
Yeah. All right. 1.
See, I don't know. I know the other book is still coming. This is tough.
The Imperial trilogy, or the new Thrawn trilogy. I picked this book up because the cover's dope, and Martina then swiped it. But also because I thought it was going to be like
Did he swipe it, or did he complete it by adding the second half?
If you take off the dust cover, I think it's the whole picture. Or if you open it up, whatever.
Oh, if you open it up.
Yeah. It's awesome. Like this, I didn't think Thrawn could be improved, and he improved it. Like, it's good. It's he's better than even the cartoon.
Well,
by far,
yeah,
in these books, yeah,
for sure. And it's a great. I mean, Timothy Zahn, the writer, takes his own original character and basically rebuilds him.
Yeah,
like some sort of $6 million man
from the ground up. Like,
right. So
we can make him better.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the great things about, like, you know, he didn't whine and cry and be like, Star Wars, they're really ruining my character. You know, they said they gave him a chance to go back and rebuild it for canon, and that's exactly what he did, and he did it better than I think the first time.
Better. Yeah, which is like, I mean, I think that's where I say, like, if it's the original artist bringing them back to retouch their stuff up, let them do it. Because this is, I mean,
you're not wrong, Astro.
It's one of the best.
Wayseeker wants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, and I know that some people have an issue with the middle trilogy.
Yes, so I'm going to feed you. I'm going to give you a little bit of your own medicine here. I hope, although it may not even matter, because. But if you're gonna give me a hard time about number 3 of the Padme series, which it was the worst one, then I'm going to give you the same thing about number 2, Alliances, because it was boring. Half the book is about Padme, which it is, which is true. It was just dry. I had to force myself to get through that book. It took me months to get through that book.
I won't disagree. It's the worst of the 3. But the difference between that and the Padme trilogy is this book sticks the landing on the third book. It's in the middle where it drags.
Well, I don't know. I haven't got through the third book.
I
yet.
don't even think it drags that. I don't even think that drags that bit.
Well, it does take a weird side story. I'll give them that much. Like
but then in the
Anakin-
next, but they did it because then in the next trilogy it adds into that flavor.
Yeah, it does come back around.
It comes
in the
back,
prequel
so, like,
trilogy, yeah.
It adds in like that's the link add to the next trilogy.
So
So
is
like,
that a good thing?
well, yeah, because
I
there's going
think
to
it
be.
is. And
there's
how it
gonna be-
worked out.
I
Well, that's
know.
what I'm asking, because if Jedi is saying that it's dragged, and you're saying, well, it come back
No,
to
it
it.
doesn't
Well,
drag-
and also
I
too, the
know.
second book took out one of my favorite characters. I mean, it brings it back in the third book, but Vanto,
Yeah,
Eli Vanto, is
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
absent. in the
Vanto's
second
one of my
book.
favorite characters too, and
He comes
he
back.
was not in the second one.
I know he
at
comes back.
all.
I'm just saying he's not there in the second one.
yeah, but he and it's cool. Well, there's a reason why. I mean, I'm trying not to spoil it, but there's a
I know
reason
there's a
why.
reason why.
All right,
I'm just
all right,
saying
all right, all right.
It makes the
Don't
book
worry
more
about it.
enjoyable.
Okay, so two things. This is why. The third book with the Padme thing is horse shit and doesn't make anything better. This book at least makes the third book better because it does. Because then you there's a wanting, and then it adds on story to the prequel
All right.
trilogies.
Well, where are we ranking it? Let's come up
So-
with a final call.
So for me, like, I love this trilogy. I don't know if the other trilogy. I hope it's on here because I think the other trilogy is better than this trilogy, the second one. But this would definitely be in this list. Would be number one for me.
JJ, where do you have it?
I'm gonna make an argument for the next book, but I think where we have it right now, one is good.
Fine, we can put it at 1. Jedi hates us. Jedi hates us.
Well,
It's
anyway,
not bad. At least-
I'm not even. I'm done. I'm done. You guys go ahead and rest. Apparently, any negative votes only counts when you're the one putting the negative
put
vote
it
in.
on
When I
you.
put it
To be
in,
fair, I didn't vote on the last one.
I want to review those books with you, Jedi, and I would just have a 30-minute discussion on each because that would be really fun.
Jedi, hey, look, I got Queen's Peril to 9. JJ wanted us to throw it
I
off.
wanted it at 8.
I
You
didn't
dropped
vote
it
on
down
it.
to a 9.
Dude, we got it to 9.
Well, it's gonna make the list because no matter what, there's only one book left, Jedi. So at least
Go
Queen,
ahead, finish up. I don't care
the
anymore.
Queen's
Go
not
ahead.
gonna get knocked off.
All right. Lost Stars.
Break it up
and
at
this
the last
is-
second.
Who's green? Who's green?
Me,
Who's green?
me,
Go.
It's JJ.
it's me. So I'm gonna make an argument for one, and everybody's gonna think I'm crazy. But this is probably the best, at least especially for canon. This is probably the best, quote unquote, love story in Star Wars. So it's basically the story. I hate to use the phrase "star-crossed lovers," doesn't really, but one comes from an aristocrat family, one comes from a poor family, I guess you would call it. And one's for the Empire, one's for the Rebellion. It takes place kind of throughout the back half of the original trilogy, but mostly like between like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And one reason I like it a lot, and this is not gonna mean anything to anyone else, it actually reminds me a lot of the Mobile Suit Gundam story line in a way. But I don't know. It's, like I said, it's one of the best written. I know everybody's gonna hate that I call it a love story, but that's what it is more or less in Star Wars. And I'm including Han and Leia and everything
Sticks, you
else.
didn't
in
even
that.
read it.
No, then he's
I'm
yelling
commenting
at
on Sticks' comments. Sticks didn't even read it. He's saying other people say it's good, so it must be good. All right.
That's got some good points. That's got some good points. I
love
like
story.
okay, I like this book, but it was a little bit too it was a little too on the nose, right? Rich, poor, one side's going to draw up one side, the other's going to draw the other for the certain point. Then they're going to, run into each other. And I'm not saying it was a bad book. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination, but like, I
You're saying
don't.
it's predictable.
Yeah, when you see stuff like I mean, like when you see some of these books that are in top 5, I mean, some of the stuff that was in there, I hate to over exaggerate, but I'd say some of the stuff was kind of almost groundbreaking, right? As far as Star Wars goes.
To me, this was a little bit groundbreaking in the way it was written. I mean, I hadn't seen anything like this story in Star Wars before. Maybe
I
some
guess-
legend stuff here and there.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's more of a Aladdin-ish maybe. Nah.
it does sound a little bit.
Romeo.
It is a little bit like Romeo and Juliet.
It's a little Romeo and Juliet
Yeah.
mixed
In a way.
kind of, yeah. Yeah,
Everyone wants to know why Gundam.
Why Gundam? So this is a popular storyline in Gundam, where basically the one is for like the Federate. Well, this is gonna sound like the most nerdiest explanation ever. There's like the Federation of Zeon, and there's the Earth Confederacy and other things. Usually, there's always when there's a love story, they usually start off on opposite ends of the war, so to speak.
Clans or whatever.
Opposite ends of the war, and they usually meet somewhere in the middle, and they're usually childhood friends, like these two were. These were childhood friends, and so Gundam has about the same kind of storyline.
That's what I'm saying. Like the stories just seemed so familiar and placed in Star Wars, where when you're taking what the Thrawn trilogy did, when you're taking what Aftermath, when you're taking Dark Disciples, when you're taking Dooku, when you're taking all those books.
I think this was a better, if you want to call it Dark Disciples, obviously you had a love story at least as part of the arc. To me, this was better written than that.
Yeah, but the groundbreaking
chemistry between the characters goes.
Hey, the Jedi put a fucking hit out. Like, Mace Windu's like, hit now.
I don't think that's that groundbreaking. We already knew Mace Windu was a dick.
Well, I just want to point out the fact that right now the top 3 books we have here are red, and we know whose books were the red books.
Time out. First off,
does that surprise anybody? Does that really surprise
anybody? First off, Jedi shares number 3 because me and Jedi both had 3, and me and JJ both had 1. So technically, all of them are shared books in the top 3.
Well, I would say even that's worse because the one you share with Jedi is the worst ranked one of the 3.
We'll put it this way: I'm gonna make my push that this is at least a top 5 book.
There's no doubt.
I don't disagree. But I don't know if I put it.
Well, Dom, I go to Dom. Dom, did you read this? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, Jedi, you got anything on this one?
I never read it, but I'm right. I say it's number 1.
Yes, that's 2-1 votes.
We need Wayseeker's opinion to help break these.
I actually think this is better than the Thrawn trilogy that was picked. If it was the other Thrawn trilogy, it wouldn't be.
Is that 3 number 1?
This Thrawn trilogy, I agree with JJ. This book, it's so good. It is one of my favorite books. I would put this at number 1.
Oh my God! Well, you guys are sad. Pathetically sad.
Make it happen, Pete.
Jedi hasn't even read this book.
Apparently, that doesn't matter.
I mean, I can't argue with I'm trying to say like Ruben says 2. That still doesn't help. I think you guys are vastly overrating this book, and you should go back and read it.
I've read this book at least 3 times.
Love Chat is.
He has gone back and read it, Marco. What now?
Anything in the top 5 is pretty good. So I can't believe you guys put this at 1 because that's just not right. But go ahead. I mean, you got it in 1. Good job, Jedi. Way to ruin things. Can't have nice things for Jedi.
Well, I don't think we're blaming Jedi. I mean,
no, it's Jedi's fault because Jedi didn't read it and he gave it a 1.
Yeah, but even apart from that, we count the 3 of you that did read it. 2 of you said 1. 1 of you said
See, I would have gave it 2, but
top 5.
Even I didn't read it, but
Dom gave it 2. Let's go to 2.
I like Thrawn. I love the Thrawn books, so I think Thrawn books are always number 1 in my eyes.
There we go.
I love Thrawn too.
That doesn't make any sense.
Trilogy.
Oh, I don't. I mean, it's. I was just.
I almost
like the original.
I almost picked for one of mine the Ascendancy trilogy, but to have both of them on there, I was kind of unfair to the other.
I was just thinking like groundbreaking stuff. Like all 3 of those that are 2, 3, and 4, and should be 1, 2, and 3 were all kind of groundbreaking in their own way.
I feel a little better now. Thank you.
I think you guys are fucking apparently like Romeo and Juliet a lot. You apparently love the story.
It's only like one of the classic books of all time. So
Yeah, I get that, but like it's not really groundbreaking. It was a basic predictable storyline.
I think for Star Wars it was in a way, but
was it not predictable? I'm
it was a little bit predictable, but I think a lot of stuff. I mean, Dark Disciples was predictable. I didn't think they were going to kill Dooku.
That was predictable.
In the assassin plot.
We knew the outcome of Dark Disciples. It wasn't.
Well, is that not predictable?
Yeah, wait a second. You're going to try to tell me I can guess the outcome, but that's not predictable.
No. They told us the outcome already. We've seen the outcome of Dark Disciples before.
But I think this was an original story, so you didn't know the outcome of these characters.
Did you know that Ventress was going to die? Because I didn't know she was going to die.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Well, no, but
I mean, spoiler alert. By the way, the book's fucking 8 years old. So yeah, no, I don't think we. That's what I'm saying. Like we knew what was going to happen after, yes, but I don't think we knew. I didn't see Ventress dying. That was a shock when Ventress died in that.
Let's go.
Nothing in Stars was like it wasn't a shock. Like you're like, okay, this is where I saw that. That's why I'm saying. That's where I'm saying. Like
at the time. So one thing that was important to me at the time of New Canon.
Fair.
That was the absolute best book.
Yeah.
Of the New Canon,
and it was one of the
really
first.
raised the expectations for what New Canon stories should be.
Was this the second one, Wayseeker? I know there was the Kanan and Hera book.
No, you had that stupid Luke story that was like the worst story ever.
Oh yeah.
That was just garbage.
So this is like the third or fourth one then probably.
Was it hair or I?
Yeah, whatever, air to whatever that thing. That was
Empire.
by far the worst book.
No, not that one.
Oh,
Yeah, that Luke book was shit. I will agree with that.
And so we had like
Heir to the Empire. Dom will be.
We had some. I mean, Kanan book was okay. There was another book I think that was.
I didn't have a problem with the Kanan book just because of the Hera back and forth with him, which explained the relationship later on with Rebels. So like, I didn't.
All Stars came along, and you're like, this is what every Star Wars book needs to be, going forward.
There was that. Wasn't there a Vader book in there too?
There was, and that one was.
Yeah.
It was.
Was that Lords of the Sith?
Yeah.
Lords of the Sith was. Yeah. Which I think. Well, I thought I will give you this. Till this book came out, I thought Lords of the Sith was the best of the New Canon. This came out, and I was like, you're right. You're right. So in the time era, it was kind of breaking because they
I
went
actually like Lords of the Sith. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Lords of the Sith always sounded like a rock band to me.
I know, right?
Lords of the Sith.
Yeah, no, Lord. So yeah, I guess. I mean, I still don't have it at one. I think you guys.
Yeah, Master of Puppets play in the background.
Oh my god.
Overranked it. But thanks a lot, Jedi. Are you happy, Jedi? Look at him smile. He's grinning from ear to ear.
I'm laughing because Styx wrote a paragraph about when I called him out for not reading the book. He wrote a freaking paragraph.
The internet says something as good as a whole. And stuff. So, yeah. I mean, like,
That's fair enough.
He might not be wrong. Might not be wrong. So, but yeah, no. Okay, cool. So that's, I mean, good list. I think maybe we should do like what we thought the top 10 worst canon books.
I'm gonna go back into this. What was this in relation to?
JJ talking about the Gundam stuff.
I think the top 10 worst will be hard because there's only like 4 or 5 that are horrible.
Really bad.
But yeah, it'd be really tough.
If we could split up the Padme trilogy right there.
Yeah, the third one down there would be on my top 10 worst.
Yeah, I don't think that third Padme book was canon anyway, so you can't toss that one.
But it takes a huge jump up. See, well, I don't even understand why you're mad at me because you originally submitted.
I'm not mad at you anymore.
Yeah.
It was a bad impulse on Jedi's part.
Jedi, I'm doing what you just did. You kind of screwed yourself twice. Once you moved it over to trilogy, which screwed you because that book if you would have left it one,
I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
He's like, oh, we're picking trilogies now.
Because you did the Stars thing, you don't actually have a book in the top 3 anymore because our shared book then got moved down to 4. The shared book.
I'll sleep fine tonight. I'm not worried about that.
He's sleeping fine knowing that he screwed you.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's how you like your days to run, feel free. Are we doing trivia? Time is it?
You can.
Yeah, we're hitting
midday right now.
Trivia real quick. How fast is trivia? One's in the chat. One's in the chat. Hurry up.
Yes, one's in the chat.
One's in the chat. Wayseeker, you're really good too, by the way. Thank you for coming on, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Happy to whenever you do books.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really great, man. You've got some good insight and kind of helps it out with.
Yeah, you help pull the weight of me because I don't read.
Are we doing Legends next week?
Dom reads half of them.
Dom reads half of them.
It's half the book.
Dom needs a Sith or a bounty hunter. Otherwise, he ain't touching that.
If we do Legends next week, I think I've only read one.
I mean, the next book is I'm not looking forward to at all. That's the love story with Han and Leia.
The one that looks like the Princess Bride.
Well, want to know why? Bloodline technically was a love story between Han and Leia. And it was done very well because it wasn't done as a love story between Han and fucking Leia. It was like
Han's story when he went off on his missions again. I want
to right, but he was at home a bunch, and it actually was like real life husband, wife, like at home, like fuck, I gotta go to work and I gotta take care of the shitty kid and I gotta do this and that and the other thing. They did a really good job, Mystic Relic. Good to see you. All right, I'm giving everybody like 30 more seconds. But yeah, I think they're gonna do like, who's writing that? Does anybody know who's writing that romance?
I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Zach, do you think Zach, have you ever read a book?
No, because he's putting 45 in the chat instead of 1.
Dude, you don't want
45.
cheers. Yeah, cheese tears. Plus,
Cheese. Gouda. Got a nice Jarlsberg.
All right, roll it. I think that's.
oh, there's only like 4 people. Okay.
That's all right. I mean, well,
We
All
got
right, here we go.
I think all the novel talk
Tell me when to
scared a
stop.
lot of people off.
Tell me when to
Call
stop.
it Way Seeker.
Tell me when to stop.
Call it Way Seeker.
What'd you say?
Stop.
I was telling Way Seeker to call it since he's our book guy, but
Oh, you say that?
Fucking no.
leftover Zaggy. I think leftover is 1 already.
45.
I think everybody who's in is 1 already, probably.
I don't think
Yeah.
Styx has ever won. I don't think Styx
Sticks,
has
have
played.
you ever won? Mystic Relic and Sticks, I don't think have won. Sticks, have you ever won before?
I don't think Wookiee's played either.
Yeah, Wookiees won. Sticks,
Yeah.
Sam.
I think Styx has won one time. I think.
I know
Well-
Zaggy has. I don't know if.
How about this? I got a quarter, so it's Sticks and Mystic Relic. I'm going to flip it.
Oh, Wookiee has one. Okay.
Sticks, you were the first one in there. You call it heads or tails.
Oh, he won, he said already. Mystic River it is. All right,
All right,
Mystic
Mystic
River.
River.
Everybody qualifies for our next one.
Mystic Relic. Mystic
Okay.
Relic. River, not River.
Relic,
Mystic River.
Mystic River.
what the hell?
I would
going on?
remember
Oh,
Mystic
movie?
Relic.
Very
I don't think I
popular.
Let's say, isn't that a movie?
All right, Mystic. Yeah, Mystic River.
You
won.
got to pick a question number, and then we will give you that question, and then, well, Jedi, you tell them. Or her.
Yeah, you pick
I
a
don't know.
number. The number corresponds to a question. You answer the question. You win a prize. Now you can use anything at your
Okay.
disposal, including the
Before,
panel.
he's up by 4.
Okay.
He's already
Oh,
picked
he's
it.
played before. All right. All right, pick 4. Let's go. It's a big one. According to Obi-Wan Kenobi, for how long had the Jedi been the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy? More than 100 generations? More than 1,000 generations? More than 2 millennia? More than 2,000 years? According to Obi-Wan Kenobi, how long had the Jedi been the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy?
Peace and justice. I know the answer.
Yeah, I know this one too.
Next week, I want to put leftover, Sticks, Mojo, Wookiee. Who else? I want to do a wheel. Astro. And anybody else who after this game puts their thing in there, we're doing a wheel. It's gonna be all past winners. No, Mystic, you want to say B, dude. You really
You
want
want
to
to B? Definitely want to go B.
you want to go with B. Mystic, you want to go with B. Mystic, just please put B in there.
Mystic, did you answer yet? Because we didn't see anything. Did you?
Yep.
Maybe you should.
Not final.
No, I didn't see what he put yet. It's not
I didn't
final.
see it either.
He did small. He needs capital B. Oh, there he goes. B it is. Okay.
B. All right.
Good job.
Wait.
is
Oh,
B.
it is B. Oh.
There you go.
You've never won? That can't be true.
Everybody wins.
Not
at
at this.
game.
Astro might have won other things.
Oh.
He's never played?
All right. Pete, throw me up
Oh,
on
you
the
know
big
what? I think
screen.
Astro won the 1,000 giveaway when we hit 1,000 subs.
Oh,
Astro's
okay.
playing next week then. Easy done. Okay.
All right, so throw me up on the big screen if you
Well,
would. Now we can make a
I
big.
find it hard to believe Ruben's never played or won.
Ruben?
Ruben might not have either.
I don't think Ruben has played.
And now Ruben can't play, right?
Yeah, maybe we.
Yeah, Ruben, you're on the channel.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mystic
Be like Dom won.
Relic.
You're right.
I'm gonna throw this up there again. This is what you won. This is a 1,000 piece Star Wars puzzle. The pieces should all be in there because it's never been opened, at least by me. And I got this new, so it should be all pieces should be there. Or you can
$999.
gamble. You can gamble. We can make a deal. You can take what is in one of these envelopes. 1, 2, or 3.
Make a deal. Pick a number. Pick a number.
You gotta
Pick
pick
a
it. You gotta just.
You don't want.
Take the
you
puzzle.
You don't want a puzzle. because they could be missing a piece.
You don't want a puzzle. You want to gamble.
Number one.
I didn't say you can't.
All the pieces should be there. I bought it new and I've never opened it. So
Oh boy, now it's
Nick
could be
has
a
one
one.
incomplete.
Says
One.
one.
Number one with a bullet.
All right, there's number one.
It's a trap.
It
I
could
think
be.
they're all traps by now.
You're gonna get some Star Trek merchandise again.
Horror.
Rest in peace, Uhura.
Yes.
Yes, and Bill Russell today.
All right. So you didn't win anything from me.
Oh, I can see
You won
it.
something from
You
Domtober.
You some bitch.
So throw Domtober up on the big screen, and Dom will tell you
Domtober,
what
big
you
screen.
won.
Tell the man what he's won.
Okay.
All right, Dami, let's see what we got.
You have a choice.
Boy.
That's another choice. There's
Another
another
choice.
choice.
I'm
Put
going to
it
put two
out.
things up.
Okay, two things. First
One-
thing is A.
A is a Mandalorian fig pin,
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Nice.
and B, boom, a droid's Boba Fett.
Ooh, easy choice.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Toy or pin?
Ooh.
Should be an easy choice there.
Ooh.
Mystic Relic.
Maybe he likes
Me,
big
right?
pins. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
It
it's
could
an
be.
easy
All right,
choice.
Nintendo guy.
Do you want A, the fig pin, or B, the toy? Do.
Went B.
Do. Definitely B, he says. Okay.
Everything, you
No,
got
choose
it.
the kiss.
Yes.
I just want to give
B.
you a heads up. If you're an in-package collector, there's a little crease on top.
Oh,
Now you
geez.
tell him.
Now you tell him after he picks.
No.
No, but if you're not, usually open it up. It's droid's Boba Fett.
It's free. He will
And on
get
top of that, the original one's over $5,000. So there you go.
Yeah, the original. Yeah. Okay.
Original.
All right. Send Pete. Where are we sending this? File down.
Well, if you know Dom, you can send Dom your
Dom
info
Tober.
directly.
Old man.
If not, hit me up with either a direct message there on IG. If you don't have IG, there is an email address. It's
True.
What is it? It's Renovision1
not
at
accidentally either.
Gmail, I think.
On purpose.
Just comment if you don't have IG or you don't know how to get in touch with Dom.
Somebody here.
Direct message.
Yeah, we'll take care.
Leave a
of it.
comment down in the actual video,
We'll have a message. Okay.
and we'll get you.
Thank you, Dom. Thank you, everybody. Good stuff. Wayseeker, thank you.
Congrats there, Mystic Relic.
Jedi, do know that I will not forgive you for this.
Transgression goes on your permanent
On
record.
the dog pound.
I blame you.
Jedi's never getting that 9.8.
He's okay with it, dude. He loves it, though.
I'm never getting that package, am I?
No.
This made his year. So, I mean, like, sometimes you got to do it. You got to shoot your shot, bro.
This will not stand, man.
Christian will not
You're
stand.
welcome, Relic.
Worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it, he says. All right. That was a great show, guys. Thank you. It was fun.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Wayseeker, for
Wayseeker,
stopping
thank
by
you very
and
much
helping
for
us out.
joining us.
The dude
Anytime.
abides.
We're resetting
Dude.
tack. Actually, we have a lot of exciting stuff going on this week. We got that awesome MCM package opening show, Mail
Friday.
Call Madness on Friday. That new show that's doing pretty well. Saturday, we might have a surprise.
We might.
And then we're resetting tack. We have a surprise for tack. We're resetting tack this week.
I already told Sticks what it was because he asked in the chat.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't tell me not to tell anybody.
Hey, we have this membership thing. You're like, come up with more membership content. And every time I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to come up with this for membership content. You're like, hey, cool. By the way,
What does
3
that have
people
to do
already
with what we're
asked
doing
already.
on Wednesday?
Huh?
What does memberships have to do with what we're doing on Wednesday? You
I
didn't
don't
say
know,
we don't
maybe
tell nobody what we're
something,
doing on
I mean,
Wednesday.
background or something. I don't know how we put the list together or something like that.
Sticks asked, "What you guys doing on Wednesday?" And I told him. So
what
other
are we
people
doing?
probably read it.
Anyway, Pete, what are we doing on Wednesday?
Well, I didn't tell anybody else.
We could finish off the story from last week because I remembered who the quarterback was and told everybody who was.
Well, yes, you could. I didn't talk about that. I was talking about the tier list. He was asking what we were tier listing.
Yeah, we're having a good tier list, I think.
Yeah, because we're done with the action hero is done.
This is done.
For better or worse, Kurt Russell ended up on top.
Plus, I think at one point we ended up having like 16 members tier rating action stars, so it was just becoming what, Jedi?
And I was gonna say, I don't understand why you had that heartburn with Kurt Russell. You were such an escape from New York and LA fan. I thought you would have been ecstatic that it was Kurt Russell.
No, that's not what it was. It was it was the same thing with you when Tom Cruise got like the worst overall score out of all the people as action stars.
Yeah, that was your fault too. So I think we're even. Actually,
That wasn't my fault. I didn't
He was
even
angry
vote.
that he couldn't control the result, Jedi. That's
I couldn't control the result on that.
Yeah,
But
to be fair, Stallone had the worst winning total out of everybody.
Yeah, Cruise was tied for the second worst.
Well, no, Cruise didn't win. Cruise was third place on his own.
Yeah, he never made the finals.
Yeah, well, we're talking overall score. The problem that I had with it was Pete decided to go and choose weak movies for some of the better actors to move them up. I wanted stronger competition.
And I told you, I asked you, tell me what I should have put in its place.
Oh, we're not going back onto this.
I know. All I'm saying, I asked for everybody. You didn't give me an answer. Outside of the Book of Eli, which apparently is everybody's favorite fucking movie in the world, that I missed. For Denzel, that's the only one I can say.
We can prep the story. I know Jedi's got to go eat, so he's probably going to take off and wait. Seeker, if you got to too, Ken, but they are asking in the chat. We could tell this, but I have to give a little background to some of this.
No, there's a reason Man of Tai Chi was there for Keanu, because Keanu doesn't have other action movies. It's just
I think the mistake with those movies was we could have broken it up just like Queen's Pair. Should have broken it up.
I'm not. We're not in three different genres.
How would you do like Rocky? There's like, if you include Creed, there's like 10 of them.
Yeah, exactly. And you add in 4 Rambos.
Now, Dolph Lundgren is coming out with a new Rocky trilogy.
Oh, don't even get him. Did you see? Sly got upset.
He got salty on that.
He got salty.
Yeah, he did.
Shit.
Hey, they got a good movie with Sylvester Stallone, The Good Samaritan, coming out. Superhero movie, which is pretty good.
Oof.
It's pretty good.
I don't know about
Amazon
that.
Prime.
I agree with the first part. He has a movie coming out. I don't know about the looking good part.
That's a high bar you set there, Dom.
Oh, by the way, catch Bill Cole Madness on Friday.
Absolutely. Jed, you're in Indiana, or you know Indianapolis well, right? You know Indianapolis well. Okay, so Indianapolis, for some reason, they have like a circular expressway system out there. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Bypass, if you want to call it that.
Yes. So in 2006, I was working for a company, and they gave us like a menu of parties to attend. Okay. And you would select every day before dinner or whatever where you're gonna go, and it was like club was an option. Go to some millionaires' houses. It was like crazy stuff. It was really lunacy shit.
Were any of the choices buffets? Because I know how much you love buffets.
I don't think. In Agent's house is where I wanted to go because I was told to go to the Agent's house. They didn't have buffets, but they did have accoutrements and stuff sitting out. It's a little bit different, but kind of the same. I think, people going around, and it's not a buffet, but like it's open food.
You went to a rich person's house and had the servants buffets that used to serve all the
No. He'd have rooms. It was actually
they had the carrots and celery. What is it?
It'd be like quail egg and chili sauce and like that type of shit. Like
quail eggs.
Yeah, like little quail eggs and chili sauce.
Like tapas almost.
Almost like tapas. Yeah, shit like that. And you'd have them all around rooms and shit like that. So I was trying to get there, but I ended up having to, because I had gotten a promotion the night before and I had gotten so hammered, I had somehow locked myself out of the room. But that's a whole nother story, how it happened. And I had to have our security break me into my room because something fell in front of the door. You know how there's the locks that go like this on the back of the door when you're in a hotel room? You know, the little ones like that?
The thingy? Yeah, the little...
Yeah, something fell over, knocked that over the latch, and we couldn't get in. So somebody had to get at one of the shit clubs, and one of our security people did. So they got it in. So then I had to do a favor for the next day, and the favor I had to do was take one of their wives to the club and then get on another bus to go to, or get into the limo and go to the agency.
You had to take just the wife?
Well, she wanted to go to the club, and he had to go he had to go do something else. I'm not
What
going
is, was it Marcellus Wallace? Take my
No.
wife for a good time. It's just good
No,
company.
This is developing into the weirdest story.
Yeah, it's a weird story. So I had to get into this double-decker bus that I didn't want to go
Spider
into.
catches a fly.
I had a DJ on the second level, and we were up there, right? He's like, dude, do you mind taking my wife there first? You owe me one. I was like, fine, but I'm only staying for an hour because the limo's leaving there to go to the party that I want to.
I'm gonna leave her ass there.
What club was it?
Huh?
What
I
club
don't-
was it?
Well, I don't know, but that's also irrelevant to the story. So we get on this double-decker bus, and it's got a full bar on it at one point. And it's an 06. And all the drugs that are popular in 06, including scissor, is popular at the time. And people are consuming all these things. And there's a lot of like people on this. There's like some football players. There's some agents. There's a whole bunch of people going to the club. I'm staying upstairs and kind of minding my business. So I'm sitting there, and the wife of the security guard guy, he goes, because we had off-duty police officers who are security guards. So she tasked me, and she's like, "Hey, Marco," like, and she points down, and I see this behemoth guy rubbing her leg, and I'm like, what the bleep is going on with this? Now, that would just seem like okay if the ride was 2 minutes, but these circular things that you go around, whenever you try to get off in a ramp in Indianapolis, we have an English-style double-decker bus. There's low lines, so the double-decker bus couldn't get off. And if you miss the exit, you have to like go all the way around the whole circular thing and go back again, which is the craziest system I've ever seen. But that's what we had to do. So he didn't
Or
want to.
your bus driver doesn't know how to drive.
That's
There you go.
true. That's true.
Or he's
Because
drunk.
The clearance was so that. But then what he'd do is like whenever the guy would go through that, he would then shut down the power to the DJs and everything else. So what was supposed to be a 15-minute ride turned into an hour and 45-minute ride with a bunch of people who were pounding alcohol. All the alcohol's off. I went to go take a pee at one point. There's 2 bathrooms on this double-decker bus. It's full of like liquor bottles, beer cans, contraband that people smuggled on there. Everything anybody could smoke had been smoked already. And now this guy's rubbing the leg. And this guy's got like
Lloyd smoked the rest of the letter.
he got the button-up shirt, and it like look down. There's a guy with a button-up shirt, and all the buttons, but 2 buttons are unbuttoned. And he's going and he's rubbing this leg, and I'm like, all right. And she's like, hey, has asked the guy to stop, and I'm like, hey, my man. She said stop, and he's like, it's not your business. And it turned out it was Sean Salisbury, and I go, hey, Sean.
I was already with the unknown quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback. I go, well, hey, Sean, you went 0 for 3 your last season. You just went 0 for 4, bro. So why don't you leave her leg alone? And I don't know if he was on drugs or whatever the bleep he was on, but that didn't seem to faze him. So I was like, hey, yo, I said, and I gave him a little tick, do it. And he goes, I'm coming for you, which at the time I was in a lot better shape and everything was cool. Also, we have our own security because it's our bus. Like, it's not like they're on our shit. Like, this is just good time, right? But when I said you went 0 for 4, we went under the power line. They shut the power off. The driver did because he didn't want anybody talking and no DJ, so he could go under the power lines. So I go, you went 0 for 3. You just went 0 for 4, bro. And the whole place goes, oh! It's like, like one of those high school scenes where like the class is
The
loud.
music stops at the same time.
Yeah. Like, oh, so he's like, I'm coming for you. And I'm like, oh, come for me then, bitch. I didn't say that because but I was like, there's no way he's getting up. So I go over and I'm like, hey, and security comes. I'm like, hey, dude, listen, this guy's like a lunatic. He's molesting her. Like, that ain't a good look. And even in 06, like that shit, it's not like now, but that shit didn't fly, right? Like that didn't fly at all. And
he wasn't still playing. He was like a commentator.
no. He was actually at the time, he was an ESPN analyst. Because later on he gets in trouble for something, which I know is a fact that he would do because of this ride. So he's still tall though, and in pretty good shape. And like, I don't know if you guys know football, like see him face to face.
I've met Sean Salisbury. He's a big guy. He's not small.
Yeah, he's not a small dude. Like not a small dude at all, right? So I'll be honest with you, I probably couldn't have fucking taken him. I probably could. I mean, not at that point. I don't.
You take out his knees. His knees are probably all plastic by now. So you can just take out his knees.
Oh well, because it gets better. So we're going around, and they kept calling, like, the driver kept calling to try to get off, like, well, which one can I actually clear? Which one can I? How am I gonna get off? And they're like, dude, just take the side thing and like ride the whatever. And he doesn't want to do that, but like my company's like, we will foot the bill for fucking anything. It doesn't matter. So 2 hours into this trip, the guy finally is like,
driver asking for directions.
He wasn't asking for directions. It's a circle. The expressway thing's a circle, so he just keeps going around circles. But after he passes the exit, he has to go right. JJ,
doesn't he have
well, that's true, but that's the bypass. You're using that to bypass around the city. There's literally two interstates that go right through the city that he could have taken right into downtown.
Right. Okay, I get that, but all we're doing is keeping going around this fucking circle for 2 hours. There's no more drugs.
Hey, look, kids.
No more fucking food.
Parliament.
Salisbury sweating his fucking nuts off trying to molest somebody that I was supposed to be like just escorting for fucking club.
He still had 2 buttons, right?
Yeah, he had 2 buttons. And he did nipple rub too. He did this at one point. Oh, he was going hard, bro. He was going hard. There's something else he did, but that's for members only. The members only got to hear a little bit more into that detail. I'm not putting that one out there. So all of a sudden, the bus is now, people are losing their shit because girls have to pee, but people have dumped everything into the toilets, so they can't pee. So now big football players are screaming at the driver. A bunch of questions you guys have said already are now exasperated because people are coming off their highs. It's hot as shit because he keeps shutting the AC off when he turns off all the power. The DJ's getting frustrated because now people are yelling at him to play music. It's all going to shit at this point, right? But I'm still feeling kind of confident because as much as Sean's pissed off, he's still not cut. So like it's an upstairs ring, so we could see down, but like he can't come up here, except for that all of a sudden the bus driver has to call security because people are trying to accost the fucking bus driver. So now security's over there, and as they do it, all of a sudden the guy next to me goes, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "What?" And here you go. Who said I could take Sean Salisbury? Who was that? Wookie? Sean Salisbury's upstairs. He's upstairs now, and he's on some type of shit, dude. I don't give a crap. Like if it's drinking, it's drugs, whatever. He's on something, and he's coming. And I'm like, oh, so I'm nervous, laughing at this point, and I just go like, hey, listen, to the security guy's wife. I was like, just go over there, stand behind those 2 guys. I was like, you 2, no matter what, you do not move. If he throws me over the fucking rail, he throws me over the fucking rail because he threatened to throw me over the fucking rail. So he comes by. It's really tight. He pushes up, and he is not a small guy, like he said. And he goes, "What'd you say?" And I said, "You went 0 for 6." And just like, you know what I mean? And he's like, all of a sudden, some girl said something. He loses train of thought, looks at the girl, walks to the girl, and goes, "I'll be back," and gives me a little push nudge. And I'm like, shit, dude, that's cool. At the same time, the bus driver turns the music back on. We take off. We start going. The girl rejects him. Apparently, the bar we were supposed to be at is like 1 minute off that exit. As soon as we get there, we hear, now people have got the windows down and everything because there's no AC, right? Because he keeps going off and on. All of a sudden, we hear this, "Fuck you, motherfucker, we're getting in this bitch." And I'm like, huh? And Sean's coming back at me, and like the whole bus now is turned off again because the driver's had enough right in front of this place. And we hear that coming from outside. It's Javon Curse. And Javon Curse is screaming in front of the club we're supposed to go in with a bunch of dudes and at the bouncers. And he's like, "I'll fucking take you all on." And Sean gets distracted, or whatever the shit he's on. And he's like, "Freak!" I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, I'm fucking dead. No, he's yelling off there at him. In that time, security comes back on. We're like, we got to get you guys off this bus because the club's pissed because you guys are 2 hours late. Now, on the club, we had 40 people.
You guys are going around in circles.
Yeah, no shit. So they pull us off, right? And Sean's now talking to Javon Curse, right? And he's coming down there, and he's like, "Yeah, what's up, Javon?" There's somebody else over there. Everybody's clapping hands. They're like, "You don't let her fucking in." Blah 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 blah. Now I'm supposed to be in a limo that's gone to go to the party down. So it's gone. I'm fucked. My night's fucked. We get there. The promoter from the bar comes out and is like, "You guys are fucking 2 hours late." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I was like, "So we got 40 people." He's like, "No, you don't." He's like, "Look at all these motherfuckers. They're about to fight my culture. You got 20 people to get in." So we're like, okay, we'll get 20 people in. In the meantime, Sean then goes, "And that motherfucker," and points right at me. And Javon Curse is like, "Oh, what?" And I go, "Hey, Javon, are you having trouble getting in?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, we've got a couple open spots. Would you like to get in? And Sean's like, fuck him. And the other dude goes, no. And at the same time, we had black cars pull up, and they're like, dude, time for you to get out of here because they're taking me to where I go. Long story short, I get Javon Curse in. Sean goes in while cussing at me. We got him into the club. A couple other guys. They end up going in. Javon Curse is like, leave him the fuck alone, and pulls Sean Salisbury, who's trying to like spit on me at this point, into the fucking club, dude. End of story. Yeah, he's a piece of shit, though. I mean, you just don't try to molest other people's lives.
And
Story
that
time.
was-
Story time and Marco.
Story
There you go.
That was it. That was him. I mean,
I was waiting for the real good old boys to show up and.
no, so yeah, I mean, the security guys did show like actually since the limo was gone, they brought black cars, and like I got to drive in a black car to the part. That party was fucking off the hook at that sports. It was a mansion. That was the first time I ever been in a mansion before. That shit was fucking crazy. Like fucking crazy. Like there's that. I don't think you can say what was going on in that party on the YouTube channel. Like it was what you thought it was going to be. Like there's fire shooting out. That his backyard.
Fire
he had
shooting out.
he had this
Is it like
DJ
Herogasm?
Was it
No,
like Lawrence Taylor's party in Any Given Sunday or whatever?
I don't know. But like, okay, so like you walk in and like it's like something from the Cribs where they got the like the fucking the staircase go up, right? There's like wings to this shit. Some of the wings you aren't allowed into. You go to the right wing. It's like he's got all his clients up there signed. He's got Ali gloves on the fucking. I'm like, how's nobody stealing this shit, right? And then like he's got the accoutrements. He's got the tapas and shit all out everywhere, just eating around that shit. It does say like don't touch shit, but whatever. There's girls that I mean, clothing was kind of fucking an optional thing at this point, I guess. Whatever. There's dudes that are painted up walking around. You get outside to the backyard.
Painted up where?
There's this fucking DJ thing, and that's
Something for everyone.
that's where the security guy had to go. He had to secure because we had our own like DJ booth stuff, but they attached these fucking pyrotechnics to the shit. So in the backyard, this dude's got a DJ in the backyard. There's fire fucking flying out of this shit, just flying out of this motherfucker. I'm like, what the shit? There's people dancing over here.
You know, even in WWE, only a certain number of wrestlers get pyro.
No, dude, there's pyro going on outside, dude. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy.
DJ scratches.
Was he the owner of Speaker City?
I don't know. I don't know who the guy was. I was just told to go there. I was told like that was the place.
I could barely read.
They were not lying. Isn't that fucking that movie from what's his name?
It's old school.
Chicago,
Old school, yeah. Speaker City.
Yeah.
Snoop.
So like,
Loop.
dude,
Bring a green hat.
I don't even think I recognized how it was. It was crazy though. Like that place was fucking crazy. It was just. I was glad I went. I was glad they told me to go. I was glad I didn't miss it. I was glad they came through and picked me up. I probably would have had to go into the club otherwise, and I wouldn't have been happy in there. I don't think. I think I probably would have been in. I probably would have got my ass kicked pretty bad, especially considering once they started getting back to drinking and doing drugs, I would have been fucking done. But then, like 6 months later, Salisbury got in trouble because he was flashing his penis to female people on his phone. So there's that. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
Wookiee had that.
Yeah. That's what he did. I think he got suspended. Back then, they didn't fire you for that. But he was all about that life. I will tell you that firsthand. He definitely he was all about that life. I'll tell you that.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
that's
12:30. I think we've had it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good. All
I'm
right.
gonna go eat.
See y'all later. Have a good one.
Thanks, Wayseeker. Thanks, everybody.
It wasn't like Project X. No. It was
See y'all
more,
Friday.
see y'all. It was not like Project X. It was more like it was literally asked like sophisticated people there, and then like
What are you
you
talking
see
about?
some-
Project X with the monkey?
no Project X wasn't that where they started taking
No,
over
it's Matthew Broderick with the monkey.
What?
Bye.
Bye.
Shut up. Project
wasn't-
X was Matthew Broderick with the monkey. He was
I
a
thought it
pilot.
was the one where they were breaking into houses and throwing parties. No.
They might have made another one, but the original Project X was
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick
No,
with the goddamn monkey.
You would think there was like just like you'd think it was like Tom. What was that Tom Cruise movie? Oh, he just left. I was going to name a Tom Cruise movie. The one where they're having like all the orgies everywhere. It wasn't like that. It was
Eyes
just
Wide
like
Shut. No, it wasn't Eyes Wide Shut. All right, fine. It wasn't Eyes Wide Shut. But
I
Project
was,
X.
no. There's just like girls were like, it was also 06, so like body painting was popular back then and stuff. You know what I mean? Like full body painting. So there's just broads walking around, dudes walking around, their donklers hanging out, just full body painted up, and I don't even know what they were doing.
Sausage factory going on there.
Yeah. Well, so part of the thing too was like I couldn't drink because there were certain ways we did stuff. I wasn't technically working, but I wasn't allowed to drink till I got to that party. So I didn't even start drinking. Then I lit it up after that. I was all types of sideways. So it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, he's freaky shit. But yeah.
Project
Funny,
X.
we're off subject.
Matthew Broderick.
Still alive too.
What was the X? What was the X
Project
movie?
X.
What was the X movie where they're throwing parties? Like the kids were throwing parties at rich people's places.
With the monkey.
Not with the monkeys. There might have been monkeys there. There might have been wild.
That's the Project
It
X
was like
I know.
10-year-old Matthew Broderick.
I'm trying to remember, but there might have been. There was crazy. I mean, that Indianapolis, we tore that town up, dude. That town's a fun. You do it right. That town is a fun town, bro. Like, no doubt. Yeah, I don't know if I can tell any more stories from that town, to be honest.
Right. Well, on that, it was a
Good night, everybody.
interesting night.
Something.
And we're still live. It's funny. We're still live. We didn't go off. We're
I
off
know,
We're
subject.
going, but we're not going because I got to get something to eat. I'm hungry too.
Out of here. I gotta go.
All right. Later, everybody.
Later.